Good evening, infidels. You're muted. You're muted, Frank. Yes, you are. You are muted. How do I find you're muted, Frank? Oh, there.
I
Oh,
pressed unmute and it didn't work. Now I
Ching
did.
Ching Chang Chong is here. That's how we know. The question
How was
is,
everybody this evening?
fantastic. But the question is, where the hell is the button that allows? Oh, there we go. Live stream. I'm gonna stream this on Facebook. How about that? How about that?
Wow, we haven't done that in a
How
while.
about that, Chucky? Let's
I'm
see. Let's
indifferent.
let's see if I can even do it. So I think last time it didn't let me do it because of Ching Chang Chong situation. Let's see. Truth Fanatics episode. Go blank yourself. Haha, just kidding. Share in your own timeline. Public. Who should see this? Only friends. I don't want the public to see this. This is not for. This is why we can't have nice things. Hmm. Let's see if it works. I think there was like some Ching Chang Chong action last time we tried to do this. That's right, folks. We say anytime we have a problem with technical, we say Ching Chang Chong is impeding things.
Hmm.
Worldly racist towards Chinese people. No, not Chinese people, to the CCP. Let's see if it works. We call them Ching Chang Chong.
Good save, Greg. That was great.
See, for some reason, you can only see me in the stream. Technical, we say Ching. I don't know why that's the
Maybe that's for
case.
the best. And also you can hear the
Maybe that's for the best. Oh, yeah, oh, it's one of those like it bounces back and forth to whoever's talking kind of scenario.
yes, it
Hold
does.
on 1 second. I'm gonna rename myself and then yeah, why? Let's see, hold on a second. Multi-speaker, gallery, immersive. Let's do gallery. Let's see what happens after that. Gallery? No, still nothing. I just want to make sure it looks remotely presentable. Folks, as you can see, we're a professional outfit here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. We're always prepared. We
very,
have
whatever.
a wonderful budget.
Oh, hmm. Oh, there we go. Now it works. Okay, good. Shkoyach. Question is, why is it? Hmm. Okay, whatever. So,
You know what I've been doing while you were dealing with technical issues?
what have you been doing?
I'm so neglectful of my email that I got a notification from Gmail saying that you're not gonna be able to receive new emails anymore
Why?
because I have 100. Apparently, I have 140,000 emails.
Oh Lord. Oh, that means you've gone over your gigabytes or whatever?
Yeah, yeah, and
S-
and all those emails, by far, all of them are these subscriptions that I don't even know how I'm subscribed to things, like Jay Sekulow and
Oh, all those guys, yeah.
Cuddly
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Epic Times, which I'm not
So
making
maybe
anything.
unsubscribe from these things. They have
I
the little button in the email, unsubscribe.
Thanks, Greg. I know
You're
I just
welcome, Frank.
I kind of figured that, but I need to erase
Yes.
the emails too. All right.
Yes.
So I'm like clicking the whole, I do a search,
Yeah.
then Cuddly comes up. I
Yeah.
was donating to Cuddly for a couple of
Yeah.
years. It's just I have a apparently infinite amount of emails from them.
Cuddly? Cuddly? Cuddly?
Cuddly. It's like
Hmm.
it's like this platform. I guess it's involved in various donations,
Hmm.
charities that have to do with animals and other related
Oh. Oh.
stuff like that. Okay. And then there's just like infinite amount of emails from Frank Lindell.
Yeah. Pillow guy.
It's like I think I subscribe because like I feel bad
Hmm.
and then I never look at anything that I'm subscribed to ever.
Hmm.
And now I'm in this situation.
I
But
don't
anyway,
subscribe because I feel bad. I subscribe because, or I did subscribe because, the whole FOMO thing. And then people say, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't hear about that event or that
wait a minute.
thing
The
that happened."
whole, the whole. Did you say FOMO thing?
Like FOMO, like fear of missing out kind of thing.
Oh, no, I definitely don't subscribe for that reason at all.
Hmm.
I have no fear of missing out.
I used to. Not
Ah,
now I don't really care.
yeah.
Now I'm just like, this is polluting my email and I'm
I have fear of participating. That's what I have.
It's like Larry David. He's like, can I play for the folks at home my favorite ever Larry clip? And I've showed this to you before, but I just want to play for folks at home.
Yeah.
This is essentially, I don't, this is me, but nonverbal. I'm the nonverbal version of this. Uh, this one. Okay, so Larry, this is in
I'm
in the season where Larry moves to New York.
sorry. I just realized I'm long overdue to have my wife dye my beard. Look at this. This is
Oh my God.
this is age here.
I don't know,
Okay.
man. You want to be like BB, BB, he like dyes his hair black and it just looks weird.
My grandfather did
He
that.
looks like the Just for Men guy.
Look, my grandfather dyed his hair,
Yeah.
and that's how I remember him. It'd be
Mm,
weird for me to remember him with gray hair.
mm, I hear you. Well, there should be the Israeli version of like Rock Linashim, and the BB should be on the cover of the box.
Hold on a second. BB has gray hair. Like, what are you even talking about?
He has gray hair, but every once in a while, I'll show you after this clip. I'll show you BB's black pictures of him with black dyed hair. It's the weirdest thing
As
ever.
long as we remember that I'm here to talk about John Candy.
We will talk about John Candy for sure,
All right.
100%. Oh, so this is when Larry moves to New York for a little bit, and goes to pick up his Chinese food, and let's see what happens.
Look who's in the motherfucking house! Leon in the motherfucking house!
You drove the car? Look what you did to the car.
Let me tell you something. This motherfucking car got some heart, man. I was surprised.
That's not what I wanted to show you. I'm gonna skip this. Okay, here's Larry. Okay. Blah blah blah. Okay.
Here to pick up some food to go, David.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay.
Larry? Larry, hi. We're
Doug
both
Singh.
in New York.
Yeah, we're both
Look
in
at this,
New
two
York.
Angelinos here in New York.
That's something,
What
isn't
are
it?
you here for?
Hey, I just came.
Hey, here's a thought. Let's go to lunch. Tomorrow?
I don't think so.
Okay, Thursday.
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, we don't really see each other in LA. So why, if we're in one city all the time and we never have lunch in that city, why would we have lunch in the new city?
I see what this is.
We don't have lunch
You're
together
still
in
holding
LA.
a grudge because we didn't invite you to Joni's bat mitzvah. You'll never forgive me for that.
No.
I'm telling you, we sent it out. You were on the list.
I did get the invitation.
Yeah.
Yes, and I paid so little attention to it that I didn't even bother to RSVP because I shouldn't have been invited in the first place. I was offended that I was invited.
So let me get this straight. I'm
There's
going to eat
nothing to get
alone.
straight.
I'm going to eat alone tomorrow.
Why do you want to eat with me?
Because we never get a chance to eat in LA.
Because we're not friends.
We're not friends because we never spend time together.
We don't spend time together because I don't want to spend time together.
Is it possible that you have a little room for growth?
No, Dougstein, I think we've taken this about as far as we can. There'll be no lunch, no breakfast, or dinner. There won't be a snack, there won't be coffee, there won't be a drink, and hopefully there won't even be another bump into.
I feel badly for you because life is like this.
Yes.
And what you've done is made it like this.
I want to make that smaller.
Really?
Yes. Shrink it, put the hands together. That's what I want. See you, Dougstein.
Bye, Larry.
What's funny? The funniest thing about that
Yeah.
was that Duckstein was participating. He was like cooperating. He's like
Yeah,
making small.
yeah. Dude, that guy's actually a brilliant this Doug Steen guy. No, I mean this guy who plays him. He's a brilliant writer. He wrote a few like pretty well-known things. Dude, actually, I today saw a old clip from Seinfeld and it made me realize that Seinfeld actually is a semi-evil show.
Seinfeld is an evil show. Of course it is.
Remember when George's fiance died? Can I show the folks at home the scene when George finds out? Uh,
That's why they end up in jail where they belong.
yeah. So
Right.
yeah, they have like no growth, whatever. So you know, it's a famous thing. Like basically ends up licking the here, one second, licking the envelopes, and she dies. Yeah, because there's like a chemical in the envelopes, the invitations, whatever it is, right? I'm not gonna show you the scene where she like does that. I'm gonna show you like the hospital scene where George comes to here. Look at the reactions of the character. It's hilarious, right?
So she was just lying there.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened.
There's the doctor.
Excuse me, are you the husband?
Well, not yet, fiance.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry. She's gone.
What's that?
She expired.
Are you sure?
Yes, of course.
I don't know why that's funny.
So, she's dead.
Yes.
Huh.
Let me ask you, had she been exposed to any kind of inexpensive glue?
Why?
We found traces of a certain toxic adhesive commonly found in very low-priced envelopes.
Well, she was sending out our wedding invitations.
That's probably what did it.
We were expecting about 200 people. Well, thank you, doctor. She's, gone.
Dead?
I'm so sorry, George.
Yeah, me too.
Poor Lily.
How did it happen?
Apparently the glue in the wedding invitations was toxic.
Well, that's weird.
So I guess you're not getting married. But,
Yeah?
well, now I'm engaged.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we'd both be getting married.
Hey, what can I tell you?
All right.
Come on, let's get some coffee.
We had a pact!
So that was an exercise in focusing in everything but what's important.
Yeah.
That's the focus of the show. That's why it's evil.
Yeah.
It's not evil in a traditional sense, like, you know, like terrorists evil, right? Or, you know, that kind of thing. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
the promoting of, not necessarily promoting directly, but I wouldn't say glorifying, but the portrayal or the normalizing of the part of the human experience which makes you focus on the least important things about life.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole focus of the show.
Yeah.
It's like there's not a single thing that happened that was human or important. It was all about focusing on the nonsensical, trivial aspects of the mind.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people found it entertaining.
They found it entertaining, and you know what's funny? I've met people like this in the world of people who have difficulty getting married, or staying married. Uh, it's funny. The reasons why I'm not are different from those people. But I've met people like this in the Jewish world, and
Oh, thanks.
you're
Thanks,
welcome,
Greg.
sir. No, listen, I notice. I mean, like they waste a lot of time.
Yeah, we have imperfect people in the Jewish world. Thanks for, I think,
It's not just no. I don't mean to say that it's imperfect. I'm talking about like I'm trying to figure out why what happened to people that they get stuck in this mindset. Do you know what I'm saying? Like what goes on? I think it must be some sort of I don't know, I guess trauma. I don't know. I don't know where.
yeah, I think it is a trauma. I think you don't want to feel. I think
uh,
people are maybe they're so overwhelmed with over dramatic people that they want to, you know, they want to get away from anything that feels intense or uncomfortable
yeah,
immediately.
yeah.
Because you have because that's I think that comes from like I think that comes from like being oversaturated with hysterics, with hysterical people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not only I wasn't even referring, well, I was referring also to that, but I was talking about more people who are like stuck in pedantics in their own kind of world, in the world of very, again, like they're stuck in their ways. They have like they're very pedantic. They're very
Why don't you tell
like
the folks that don't know what pedantic means, Greg?
you don't know what pedantic means? Or they don't know what pedantic
I
means?
mean, I've heard the term used. It just sounds like something very boring and inconsequential.
They are rigid or very narrow, very specific, very it says is concerned with formalism, minor details, and rules that are not important. Pedantry, pedant, like it relates to actually schoolmaster or teacher, schoolmaster, a person who trumpets minor points of learning or lays undue stress on exact knowledge of details. Then I could say maybe it comes from like, you know, because we have this thing called the Talmud, and people learn the Talmud, and we have this whole thing of like getting down to like minutia,
Mm,
often very
yeah.
annoying minutia.
No, not at all.
You don't think so? You don't think that's what it
No,
is?
no, it's quite the opposite. The Talmud, I don't think you've ever been wronger. The Talmud,
Okay.
and I do mean to be hurtful.
Okay. Okay.
No, just kidding. But the Talmud is anything but pedantic. The Talmud,
No, I don't mean the Talmud's pedantic. I mean that the people who are pedantic they are directing.
I'd like to finish a sentence, but
I
okay.
know, but I'm just trying to like kind of
You're trying to interfere with
no,
my
no, I'm
response.
trying
I
no, I'm
understand.
trying to clarify what I meant. I don't mean that Talmud is pedantic. I mean that these people are um using that energy for stupid things.
There's nothing that comes from the Talmud that could ever inspire a person to be pedantic or to have a pedantic reaction. Let me explain. Let me explain why I'm saying that.
Okay.
Okay. So attention to detail, okay, uh, is important if you're focusing on something important.
Yes.
If you're the details of things that are not important is pedantic.
Correct.
So what is the Talmud talking about? The Talmud is talking about something quite serious. 60% of it is discussing how to carry out the will of God, the creator of all existence. Everything inside of you, everything inside of everybody else, every last creature that ever exists, every abstract concept, the entire cosmos and all the stars and all the creatures that live in it and every other parallel universe that exists. Okay, everything that literally existence itself, right? That creator decided to communicate some of his wishes to us. And so there's certain details. There are specificities to those wishes, right? It's a series of, it's called the mitzvot, right? Mitzvahs. And they're detailed. They have parameters. Mitzvahs have parameters. This is what Christians don't like to hear. They don't like to hear that God communicated his will about specifics, about specific things that he wants us to do, and specific ways of carrying it out. Okay, so but he did.
Well, Christianity has this whole thing that it says not by works. That's what they say. That they think that what we're doing is called, well, they call it works. Mitzvot is work, work. So not by
that's
works.
Right, works.
You're going
Precisely.
You're not going to connect to God by works. You're going to connect to God
right.
by
That's exactly right. They're
the heart.
Completely. That's I don't know if that's the wrongest thing that they're wrong about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's not really what I want to focus on. I'm just saying that there are specifics. There's like, God, like metaphorically speaking, right? Like God said, put this piece of furniture together, right? That piece of furniture comes with instructions, right? To put it together right the right way. Okay, so there are steps there. He gave us things to do, real tangible things to do to carry out his will. Okay, so that's quite profound. So that minutia is quite important. It's not pedantic at all. Pedantic is like you know what pedantic is? There was an entire episode of it dedicated to it on this show called Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah.
Where I don't know if they contracted some alien virus or they drifted through some space, some part of space where the physics did something to the brain, which made everybody focus on things that aren't important, but it made them insane about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like getting the sauce, for the cook to get the sauce right. Or the guy who was fixing the captain's chair to get it perfectly right. Well, meanwhile, important things were going around, like there are enemies that are like literally an armada that's like forming, they were about to blow up a planet. Nobody cared about that, but they cared about like getting the seasoning right. They couldn't, they couldn't break free from that kind of crap.
Yeah.
Unimportant stuff that they went crazy about. I think that's pedantic. Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 60% of the Talmud is about the least pedantic stuff you can ever possibly imagine. Now, if you are learning the Talmud and you're somehow focusing on the details devoid of their purpose, I mean, that's unlikely, but that's insane. Obviously, I mean, I suppose, I suppose you can, derive some pedanticness. I created that word just now. Pedanticness, that's my word. I'm sure you can extract some pedanticness from that if you learn the Talmud devoid of its purpose in serving and doing the mitzvahs, right? Okay. Then 40%, but here's what happens. 40% of the Talmud is midrash, right? These like mythical like stories, right? That are completely that conceal, not conceal. It's every aspect of the story of like these fairy tales, right? Are symbolic.
Yeah.
and they're there to get your mind working in a fluid, creative way, right? So
Yeah.
like you got left brain, right brain, left brain,
Yeah.
right brain. You
Yeah.
have the attention to detail, kind of like mathematical aspect. Then you have the artistic side, with like
Yeah.
with it's really kind of like
Allegorical stories and all that
right.
stuff. Yeah.
It's there to nourish your mind, to teach your mind how to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
But even the left brain stuff is not that left brain because of the way that it's expressed. It really makes your mind pliant. Is that a
Yeah.
word? Pliant? I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's a word.
Yeah.
Okay. Pliable. Okay. Everybody should study the Talmud. It's not going to make you pedantic.
Yeah.
So
I think
that
I don't mean that it's the Talmud makes somebody pedantic. What I meant was I think I think you misunderstood me. I'm not even talking about the content of the Talmud. I'm talking about when somebody sits, the methodology of learning something, you're sitting with another person and you're getting into nitty-gritty of anything, it doesn't matter what. I think that what happens is, let's say now you have a generation of Jews who are not even, who are not affiliated, not connected, not religious, but they have let's say somebody like the George, this character, right? George or whoever it is, right? Had a father or grandfather who was into that and everything like that. All this is now, you see this character who's into like nonsense, right? And who starts going back and forth in his head about nonsense in a very the methodology is the way he's doing it is a very like it's called a I don't know how to call it like a skillful methodology or a analytical methodology about things that you're not even supposed to. Again, it's like a misguided. They're using the method for the wrong things. That's what I'm saying.
So what you're saying is that the analytical
Yeah.
mindset of somebody who studies the Talmud was genetically inherited, and now it's being used for
Now
things
it's
that are
being
not important.
precisely like the way if you've ever
I don't know
watched
about that.
Seinfeld through all these years, you see these guys talking about these topics, you know, and I don't know, to me it just like literally sounds like two Jewish guys sitting, the way they sound, but the topics are not anything to do with God. They're not anything to do with halacha. They're not anything to do with God. They're not anything to do with anything holy at all, actually. It's funny actually. The episode, if you've ever seen the episode of Career Enthusiasm, the Palestinian chicken episode, right? That episode, apart from the whole thing about, the Palestinian chicken place and all, like I don't know if you've seen the episode where basically Larry's upset at his friend
I
that
think
he,
I've seen clips
whatever it
of
is.
that.
There's a part in that episode where some guy, either Larry hits some guy's car or the guy hit Larry's car, and they get into this whole thing of damages. They had a discussion. Maybe I could find it. They had a discussion about this. I think that is straight out of Gemara. Like whatever discussion they had, him and this guy, who owes who based on what, this and like I was watching this episode. It's funny, this episode, if you watch the episode straight through, this Palestinian chicken one, I think it had every topic, every so-called Jewish topic you could possibly cover, whether it was, the Israeli Arab conflict, whether it was this and it had everything. Jewish identity. This guy, he's like dating Larry goes with this Arab woman, and then this guy, his friend, gets upset at him, and he's like, oh, and then he's like, oh, I keep Shabbat, I can't play golf. All these kind of Jewish subplots, even maybe Torah-based subplots. But most of the time, these guys are not. Again,
No, it
yeah,
seems like only. Look, I've seen plenty of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and
yeah,
whatever Judaism, and I know the episode you're talking about.
yeah,
He uses Judaism as a prop.
yeah,
Not
yeah. I know,
there's
I
not
know,
there's nothing, but he doesn't even use Judaism.
I know,
It's
I know. He doesn't.
it's the it's kind of like the shallow perception
Yeah,
of what non-Jews think Jews are like.
correct. It's
He
like it's
uses
like a
that as a
mask.
prop.
It's a mask or not a mask,
Yeah.
yeah, like an
So there's
ornament.
nothing really Jewish going on there. You know what I mean?
It just
And,
looks
and
Jewish. Yeah.
okay, it looks Jewish
Yeah.
because it's like, look, it's exactly like what we talk about the Erevrov, right?
Yeah.
They have like a Jewish rapper.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
But internally, they're not
Yeah.
in terms of what they are bringing forth to the world. They come as like, oh, like Bernie Sanders loves saying that he's a Jew,
Yeah.
but what does he bring? Anti-Jewishness, right?
Yeah. It says,
Larry
as a
David does the
Jew,
same shit.
as a Jew.
Yeah, Larry David does the same shit.
Yeah.
He does nothing for the Jews. He does
Yeah.
nothing he doesn't represent anything. He uses it as a prop to
Yeah.
get laughs, which who does that serve? It serves himself. He's not he's
Yeah.
he is the least Jewish natured person that I've ever seen on television.
Yeah.
He has none of the like love, none of the kind of like
Yeah.
warmth, you know, um, the kind of like the warmth that people feel around Jewish people. You know what I mean? Like the charity, the welcoming. It's hard to explain, but he goes out of his way to be as un-Jewish as possible.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that comes from. Maybe like I don't know. There's a lot of people who have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
He's from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and he was walking around like that movie about we've spoken about it about the Jewish kid who becomes a Nazi, becomes like
Yeah. Yeah. The Believer. It's called.
right, the believer, right? So
Yeah.
Larry David's more like that guy.
Yeah. I know. I know.
He has that kind of like he has that energy coming. He comes at it in a different way.
Yeah.
But in some ways, Larry's way is way more destructive than that guy.
It is. Yeah. That is true.
And you could tell like he grew up in Brooklyn around Jews, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene where he has like Jewish friends, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, so like those kids, right?" He's like, "Oh, so
Yeah.
good to see you." Like he went to camp with them or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this guy and this girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could see how sweet they are, and you could see how funny he feels, like talking to them, to these two sweet Jewish kids,
Yeah.
and he's like, you could tell that he's gone crazy. Like he himself has gone crazy at that point. Like he's gone like out of his mind.
Yeah.
And there's another scene in that movie where he's like talking to his father, and his father is he's like using a mask to breathe. Obviously, he had some sort of like emphysema or something, some kind of
Yeah.
medical struggle. And there's like a scene where his father's like, his mother is like setting up Shabbos dinner or something like that. His
Yeah.
mother and his sister, but his father's like sitting there watching TV, and he's like, he's like that, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like him and his father have this kind of solidarity that they both look at that crap as
Yeah.
it's crap, like they both have a disdain for it.
Yeah.
So really, should with AI it would be amazing. You could have you could do the believer,
Yeah.
right? But with Larry David's head.
Yeah.
What a movie that would be, right?
Yeah. 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 Of course.
But it would be more. It would be like closer to the truth.
Dude, there's like a couple of clips you see on social media with I don't know if it's like a rabbi or somebody comes up to Larry, tries to get him put on tefillin, and either he just flat out refuses, or he's like, "Oh, tefillin, I'm putting on tefillin." This whole like he does like this like, I'm telling you, it's like some sort of like, it's bizarre. It's like our friend or my former friend. The guy that I told you the story, right? The hotel, this guy tried to get him put on tefillin, and he wouldn't do it. The guy's telling him, do it for, he's like, why are you here? He's like, oh, my grandmother's, whatever, she's sick. He's like, do it for your sick grandma. It's a thing to put on tefillin
Yeah.
in the merit of recovery for your sick relative. And he's just like, he's like, leave me alone. No, no, no. And then the guy comes up to me. He's like, your friend's not well, man. It's like,
Yeah, there's a lot of there's
whatever.
look. I think I don't know. I think God has something to do with it too. It's kind of late in history,
Yeah.
and it's been a little while since God really um, really did anything for us in a way that someone like your friend could recognize.
Even the whole thing with like ballistic missiles and most people not dying. Or that's not
Did you hear what I said? I said even
I
something like
understand.
your friend could recognize,
I get it.
right?
You're saying my
Everything,
friend can excuse that as like oh, we have Iron Dome and blah blah blah.
yeah, that's right. It wasn't God, it was human ingenuity.
Yeah.
God, by the way, that's the most frustrating thing about Iron Dome and all this crap.
Yeah.
Okay? Is that God cruelly
Yeah.
allowed this kind of stuff to happen and made it seem like it was done through human genius rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
as okay.
19-year-old IDF girl sitting in whatever, a bunker somewhere,
Okay,
pressing a button.
allowing the it's like a stumbling block that God Himself put in front of the blind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's what it looks like. Earlier today, I was talking to someone, okay, and I defined faith a certain way. Faith is not knowing about God, meaning it's not believing in God's existence.
Yeah.
That's you got to know that God exists. That's knowledge. That's not faith.
Yeah.
Faith is entertaining the possibility that God is not as cruel as He looks from our perspective.
Yeah.
Down here, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So your friend, it seems like he can be excused.
Yeah.
For his attitude, because of the way God makes things look to people. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
I would be shocked if your friend was open to it.
So here's my question, though.
I think I would be the same way. I'm sitting here like criticizing your friend, but in reality, if I had his experiences, right? If I didn't know that the Torah was real, like 100%, I would be like, why is this bearded guy trying to touch me?
But the thing is, my friend's not an atheist, and he's not, he goes to shul on holidays. It's not like he like is anti anything. He's always respectful of, dude. At his wedding, again, like he married a non-Jewish girl, but at his wedding, he literally specifically got.
Oh, we're talking about Mr. Qatar.
Yes.
I didn't know who we were talking about. Now,
yeah.
Now I feel
it's the most confounding.
I feel less inclined to be generous.
No, that's what I'm. Well, I don't want to not be generous because again, he got a kosher taco, like a legit, like a glot kosher taco truck, for like me, and like Levin, and another guy.
All right,
three guys at his wedding that came who were kosher. Maybe another guy who's like kosher style, who actually care at all about kosher. He got he special ordered. I give him props for that. That's a big deal.
Now that I know who we're talking about,
I understand. No, but like,
and wait. I'm picturing that scene at the hotel, right?
Yeah.
I want to take everything back. I don't want to defend your friend anymore. I want to pile on top of him. That guy deserves all the.
Dude, but listen, I
told you how he snapped at me one time. The guy asked me a question. We're out somewhere in a club, right? We're out somewhere in a club. And that's where I would see him, like, hanging out, right? Like on the weekend.
Friends of friends, whatever,
yeah. Okay. And he would like engage me with questions and conversations, right?
Yeah.
I swear, like one time, like he kept asking me a series, and that was like the nature of all of our conversations. Like we never spoken about anything else.
I think he just like thinks it's like a joke, whatever. Yeah.
No, just listen. Yeah. Okay. If he takes, I'm just telling you how he was interacting with me, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we ever spoke about the Yankees or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like every conversation we had up until that point was him asking me a question about like Torah or something like that, right?
Okay.
So one, like the fifth time, right? After like 5 conversations, right? Not 5 conversations of someone coming to you and speaking exclusively about Torah, exclusively, right?
Yeah.
And then like he had a question. I'm like, you know what? I'm not really sure. I'll look into. I'll get back to you about that. Right. And then the sixth time I saw him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We were talking. I was like, hey, what's up? I was like, by the way, remember that thing you asked me about that? He goes, why are you talking to me about Torah all the time? Like he was loud and it's like I was I like and he did it like in front of people. And I had a choice, like, I had an urge to Zayachati move mordu, right? Or just to kind of politely back away. I was like, whatever. I got my, it was like a moment. It was like a
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Something is off. Yeah, something is off.
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't appreciate that. But anyway,
Yeah.
and then the whole,
Well,
I think the fact, like, it would be easier to let that go if he didn't work for Qatar.
he didn't work for that. He worked. No, he worked at Doha Airport. Yeah.
Okay, he
Whatever.
worked
Yeah, yeah.
he worked in motherfucking Qatar, bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I know, I know. This is so it's funny because
Anyway,
at that
whatever.
at that time, it was like this like we're talking about, like the mid 2000s, the early 2000s, and everything was like, like Dubai was just getting started, all this like Dubai and UAE and Qatar and all this stuff, right? So it was like a cool thing. And all these like, these all these airlines in the South, Southeast Asia and like the Arab world were all getting like notoriety and like they were all like, oh, the best airlines in the world, becoming the best airlines in the world. So it's like a cool thing, right? Honestly, for me, it was kind of like, well, yeah, he's working in like a Arab country. I didn't even know actually at that time that Qatar and Hamas were like a thing, were an item, so to speak. I didn't know that. I found
No,
that out.
neither did I. It
Yeah,
just
yeah,
as I learned more about Qatar, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
when
yeah.
that new knowledge mixes with my old memories
Sure, sure, sure.
of him
Then you
pissing me off,
realize,
it creates this
yeah,
perfect squall, this white,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like this
yeah.
perfect storm.
When I would bring up anything to do with what I would say to him, like he would kind of laugh about it because I would say like, why are you always like, like why are you even like, working in anything to do with Arabs? He's like, he would always say like, why are you hating? Why you always gotta hate? I'm like, I'm not hating. I'm just like, dude, like okay, I'm building my career, blah 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 blah. It's a quality airport. It's a quality this. It's a quality that. Fine. But I'm like, dude, you realize like these guys are like funding, and later on, I straight up told him, I like, they're funding this and that and the other. Like, this is not cool. Like, do you have any principles, like at all? There's like no answer. Usually, the interaction on my end, it was usually, I mean, similar to what you're saying, that it was like, that joke, we ask the questions around here.
Yeah,
So that's him. Like, if you ask him questions, I think that's why he got upset because you were the one asking the questions as opposed to him asking the question about.
dude, there's something.
Yeah.
Look. I actually
There's
wish him.
something going on. Yeah.
I actually wish him the best, but there's
Yeah.
something a little, there's a little bit, a
Yeah.
little,
Yeah.
maybe a slight touch of autism.
It's yes. Yes.
I think there's a touch of autism there, but that's
Yes.
just my opinion. And
Yes.
that helps me to not be as angry with him because
Yeah.
once you realize that, it's like a little bit like David Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Minus the Gnostic whatever. Yeah.
no, but I think
Yeah.
the theme of David Pumpkins was like there's nothing to it. Like there's
Yeah.
no point to
Yeah.
Halloween. Remember, like every like in those kind of holiday themed
Yeah.
like characters, right? Like there was a
Yeah.
Christmas themed character, right? And there
Yeah.
was a point to it, right? That had a
Yeah.
principle behind it,
Yeah.
family, like
Yeah.
getting together and whatever. It was a religion. There was something there, right?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. There's a
Yeah.
point to it. It's about giving thanks. It's about again about family, about doing the right thing, about helping. And I think the whole idea of David Pumpkins was like, "Oop,"
Yeah.
it's like NPC, like complete NPC, like
Yeah.
mindless
Yeah.
and empty,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is very scary. Which is a lot like the reason I'm saying David Pumpkins is because we were talking about the Seinfeld show
Mhm.
earlier, and it's
Mhm.
like how is that devoid of any kind of meaning,
Yeah.
right?
Do you
Again, they
know
admit it's a show about nothing,
do
right?
you know what the crazy part about and this is something they even themselves admit. There's two things about Seinfeld, distinct things about Seinfeld that you never saw in Seinfeld. The characters never, I think Larry admitted this in an interview. He said they never learned the lesson, like they never grew as people. And there was never any, you never saw, like affection, like they never hugged, they never touched each other, they never, you only saw me like when you see dating, characters dating, maybe they're like, making out or whatever, but there's never any like shaking of the hands, the friends never
Nothing
hugging.
meaningful. Everything
Nothing
casual.
meaningful. Yeah, yeah. Everything, not even casual. Everything is like
Ca-
detached, completely
casual.
detached.
No.
Yeah,
Casual,
yeah,
detached,
yeah,
selfish,
yeah,
petty.
yeah.
Just like everything evil that
Hmm.
a person can experience. That's not a mafia boss, a terrorist,
Yeah.
a drug dealer, a serial killer.
It's
Just
called
the
it's called banal.
regular people evil.
The
Yeah,
banality of evil kind of scenario.
yeah.
It's
You
funny
know,
they said that when the first show first came out, Larry said that the ironically, execs said it was too Jewish, meaning whatever the hell that means. Again, ornamentally,
I think it
what?
means I
Yeah,
think it means the actor, too many Jewish
yeah,
actors
too many Jewish accents,
or
but like
Jewish looking actors.
Jewish looking, but also like mannerisms of however you define Jewish, right?
Yeah, they define Jewish by entertainment characters, people that
Yeah,
we've seen in entertainment.
yeah,
That's what Jewish means to people.
yeah,
It's the exact opposite of what Jewish really means.
yeah,
Hollywood is there to
yeah,
create. Hollywood is an Erev Rav
yeah,
enterprise from start to finish,
yeah,
and it was there to literally create the wrong idea
yeah,
about Jews.
yeah, of course. Dude,
By yeah,
you don't want to know the irony of, well, the stupidity of anti-Semites. Yesterday, and I mentioned this thing in one of my little short rogues. The Venice Film Festival, they had a 23-minute or 24-minute standing ovation for this stupid Gaza movie.
yeah.
And that literally dispels any notion, like anybody that comes and says Jews run Hollywood, right? Let's just assume for a second that there are Jews in Hollywood. The majority of the Jews in Hollywood, in terms of the writers and all these people, are, let's say, pro-Israel on some level. They are. And so if you're an anti-Semite and you think that they run Hollywood, uh, you know, the whole thing of standing ovation for a Gaza movie, that doesn't check out. It doesn't compute with Jews run Hollywood. If you assume the Jews are pro-Israel, right? Like half of them at least. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It just means that we don't. Either we don't, or the ones that do run it
Like I said,
are
it's
Erev
the
Rav. Yeah.
folks. The Erev run Hollywood. The Erev are this. It's this like you can't even call them a faction. It's like
No.
it's like this like growth on the skin
Yeah.
of the Jewish people. It's a wart
Yeah.
on the body of the nation of Israel,
Yeah.
right? And this wart is there to try to destroy the body that it's on.
Yeah.
I think that's a good description of what the Erev is. It's like this
Yeah.
wart on the body, on the skin of the Jewish people, and it's the thing. It's like, like remember in Austin Powers with the guy with the when Fred Savage was there and he had he was the mole.
Yes,
Remember?
yes, 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 yes.
And he's
And then he's like, mole, mole, mole.
mole,
Yeah.
mole, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what the Erev is. Like, imagine Fred Savage, the guy, right? His body represents Israel,
Yeah.
and the mole, right? That mole thing
Yeah.
on his like
That's
face
Erev Rav, yeah.
is the Erev. But then the mole wants to be the primary thing that's noticed.
Yeah. For whatever reason.
Yeah. Okay.
There are reasons for that.
I mean, it's a limited, where this metaphor is getting stretched a little bit, but you get the point, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Folks at home, I know Greg gets the point. Okay. So of course, so they're gonna, okay.
It's
So,
really crazy, man. The news report that they made about that standing ovation. I think it was either Al Jazeera or one of them had said it was it got down to the second, 23 minutes, 50-second new standing ovation.
it's a cult.
Dude,
Do you understand?
they timed it.
Dude, it's a cult. It's like
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's almost like Stalin. It's Stalinist in some ways. It's North Korean. It's performative psychosis. This is a term I recently heard from my friend Max.
Frank, if you see me on camera and I look weird, I'm trying to figure out if what I'm looking at is a plane or a drone because it's moving very, very slowly and it doesn't look like a plane to me. I apologize.
All right, the show might get interesting, folks.
It probably is a plane. It probably is a
live
plane.
on air abduction.
No.
Imagine Greg
It probably yeah, it's funny. It probably is a plane because we have Teterboro Airport right here. But yeah, it's a plane. Okay, funny. Yeah.
Is it a bird?
And it was moving super slow. Man, anyway, sorry about that. I just like saw something like a corner, just like completely. Anyway,
It's Greg's mysterious face.
see when this kind of stuff happens, that's when I get excited.
Okay, Greg.
It's
Don't make me talk about the stripper again, okay?
it's true. I'm just messing with you, man.
People possibly listening for the first time
Yeah.
are probably thinking
They're
we're
like,
talking
what?
about the strip club episode, but we are not, folks. It was a
Yes.
metaphor we came up with
Yeah.
in the previous episode.
Only
Okay, so
only Frank can come up with such a metaphor.
listen, did you understand it?
Of course I did.
Did it make the point?
Yeah, of
That's all that
course.
matters.
There- Yeah.
No, but I was just saying that like this performative psychosis.
Yeah.
I heard this from Maxim Maximov. friend of mine?
Yes.
I heard him use that term, and I'm like, yes, that's precisely correct. He was using it in. Remember, there's like a clip of Mamdani, that Mumser, right?
Yeah.
Mamdani,
Yeah.
where he was like on the street, like
Yeah.
pushing a cop.
Yeah.
Remember, he was like, "Free Palestine!"
Yeah.
He was like doing this like crazy. That's performative psychosis,
Of course.
right? Where you
course
get
it
into a
is.
psychotic state where you feel like you have to perform, that you have to somehow portray an emotive state that you expect that you think is expected of you, that is appropriate. It's not real.
Yeah.
And I think it's called performative psychosis because you have to be psychotic. Like that's what psychopaths do. They know how to mimic emotions, right?
Yeah.
But they're not necessarily good at it. They just try, they overdo it a lot of times, right? Like a psychopath will really put on a show to really convince you that he feels a certain way because he wants to prove something, or he or she. There's plenty of female psychopaths as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So that applauding 23 minutes is a ritualistic, trance-like, performative psychosis. It's kind of like that scene in Don't Be a Menace while drinking the juice in the hood with the two grannies in church.
Yeah.
Right? Ain't that the truth? And then that other
Yeah.
granny's like, what? Right?
Yeah.
I just want to watch that scene. Like, show.
We could see. We could show them.
Because
I don't think I remember that.
it's like, you'll see what I mean, right?
Let's see.
It's like a certain reaction is warranted, or it is.
You're saying they're
Not warranted,
sitting
it's
in
required.
church?
Yeah,
There's
like don't be a menace. Don't be a menace.
Grandma
church.
dance. The grandma dance? Menace
The
grandma dance?
grandma dance. That's right. That's right.
I don't remember. I need to rewatch this movie again.
Man, that movie was really good. I love it.
I want you to call me. Don't ask no question.
Today, Gloria.
Like
Good to see you too, Miss Williams.
Tied here. His only
Tied
son.
here.
Didn't they do it?
You gotta watch this, bro. You gotta
Abraham
look.
didn't ask.
Yeah.
No question.
Thank you, baby.
That's what God expects from his sheep here at the Greater Ebenezer New Revival Tree of Life Institutional Double Rock on the side of the road to Jericho Missionary Baptist Church of Zion. I say Mount Calvary. Y'all don't get me.
Preach on, Reverend. Ain't that the truth?
God
There we
expects
go.
you to do what the Lord wants you to do. Like those of you who realize that the Lord wants you to give generously into his church.
Amen.
Don't ask no questions. Don't
ask
ask
no
how come, why come the pastor have to have him a nice house? Why come pastor doesn't have a nice car? Don't ask. I said don't ask. I said don't ask. No questions. Just give the money. Nigga, get the collection plate right on that side. Nigga, get it around on that side. We're gonna now have a beat selection from the choir.
I feel a spirit. Woo!
There we go.
Ain't that the truth?
Okay, so that's what happened for 23 minutes. At
Yeah.
what
Oh,
is it
yeah.
at the Cannes Film Festival?
No, it's Venice.
The Venice
Same
Film
as-
Festival.
yeah,
Same
yeah.
fucking bullshit.
Dude,
okay?
by the way, that's where we had our first Jewish ghetto. By the way,
in Venice, yeah. Okay.
in Venice, so there's a connection there.
Yeah.
Definitely a connection.
Okay. So that's what it was, folks. Okay, with the Free Palestine, fucking socialist, liberal, globalist cunts. Okay,
Mhm.
that's what that. So I'm not saying that, folks. This is a parody movie, and I'm not saying that Black church is actually like that for real. I'm not saying that. I don't know. Okay, all I'm saying is that the Cannes and the Venice film festivals and all these people really are just like that. Like that is
Mhm.
that is a very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Performative psychosis. I like that term. It feels right. It feels like it's good. You know when you learn the right term to describe something, it's
Yeah.
kind of liberating. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, like there's a certain thing like that you want to be able to like explain or describe, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
satisfying. Correct. That is
Yeah.
correct. You know it's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And it's a cult. And I despise anything where you have a certain reaction is expected.
Yeah.
I
think Greta Thunberg is probably the poster child for this this terminology.
Yeah.
I would say, especially the pictures. Remember you said the photos that they or the different memes of the different like cartoon characters that she looks like. Yeah, I'll show the folks at home. Not the Sydney Sweeney one, the other one.
the page boy hair that
Yeah.
creepy. She looks like that guy from No Country for Old Men, Javier.
Yeah, Bardem, but the murderer.
Yeah, that guy.
Here, I'm trying to find it. I can't. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Find Greta. 1 second. This is like
Where's Waldo kind of thing.
yeah. Here. It's this one right here. Yeah. Oh man. Oh, it's
Dude,
on
that track from the church was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
I wanna track it down. I wanna know what that was so I listen to it.
Here, this is the
Sounds like my music from junior high school.
So this is a 1 second.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. Arden, and then there's these other character, He-Man, Dutch boy. I love the guy, the Quaid, Randy Quaid's character.
Yeah, Randy Quaid, right? He's
Where's that from? What the movie is it from?
The Kingpin. That was
That's right. That's right. He's
one of the most disgusting movies
Yeah.
like ever, but hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know where Andy Dick's character number 7 is from. I forgot.
Number 7. I don't remember that
Yeah,
either.
but this what is
I think He-Man is the best match for
yeah.
for her.
Dude, I'm starting to think this Greta I think she's part of like the MK Ultra program.
Starting. We've been kind of talking about that for a while. Like,
no, I know, but I don't think we actually formally mentioned that she most likely is. I think she is. There's no way you could be like,
you know what's very therapeutic from time to time? That clip where Trump walks by and ignores Greta.
Uh-huh.
Would you mind showing that to the folks?
Oh, where she's like she's fuming at him.
She's like in the background, like
he's like, yeah.
He's like,
it's literally like the the nerd plotting her revenge kind of thing in every movie, It's very funny actually.
Why was she? What did she expect? Did she expect to be?
Trump should take an anger management class. It's really fun. Absolutely insane.
What's great about Trump is he's so understated with these people. Like
yeah, of course. Oops.
He's almost like Norm Macdonald. Like, that's a fine. How do you do?
Yeah. Yeah, here you go. This is from, I guess, 2019.
President Trump is taking on teenage climate sensation Greta Thunberg after their frosty encounter at the UN.
Oh my God, look at her
that
face.
Icy glare has gone viral.
Dude,
Some are calling it a death stare.
It's one heck of a glare. Look at her face.
You have stolen my dreams and my.
You have stolen my dreams. How dare you? I'm supposed to be in the ocean. Drowning in the ocean. I'm supposed to be at school. Yeah, she takes like a bazillion-dollar boat.
Dude, like Greta, if I had to create like an episode, some kind of like horror, like these horror shows like Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, you would have this kind of character.
Like Tales from
Tales
the Dark
Crypt.
Yeah. So no, what I'm saying is like, they have these messed up episodes, right?
Yeah.
The prizes, right?
Yeah.
Like usually when you introduce a story where like a child is kept in a cellar somewhere, like, oh my God, the family evil, right? Or something like that. I can't believe how horribly they treat a child, right? And then like, you go down there and then like you see Greta, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's the girl. And then you run upstairs and lock the door quickly. And you're like, the family was right. That's exactly like she is a creature. Okay.
Yeah, she is.
Greg has left us, folks. Greg is...
No. I agree with you.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate your agreement. That's wonderful.
Yes,
that's lovely. Are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I was just whatever. I got into this whole discussion with folks, not an argument, just an actual productive discussion. At the risk of going into, I don't want to go into dating. But I'll tell you this, Mr. Frank. You sound like Marge Simpson's sister.
Internally, I'm like goose frappa.
Frank, may I ask you a question? This is actually a Torah question, I guess, or a Kabbalistic question.
Please.
What would compel, or why would a lady that a man is dating or about to marry or even married to, why would, if she's supposedly smart or intelligent or whatever, right, come up to the man who's a good man and who supposedly she loves this man and say things to the man where something to the effect of, you know, or some version of, you see so and so's husband or boyfriend does X, Y, and Z, and the implication is that because you don't do something akin to that, you suck, or you don't care, or you are not as good, or you're not even good at all, or just something bad, right? Why in the hell would you be compared to someone else's husband or boyfriend? Why do people feel the need? Why do ladies feel the need to do this? Men don't do this. Men don't come up to a like their wife or their girlfriend. Maybe they think it, but they don't say it. They don't say, "Hey, I wish you weren't fat. You were skinny as her." Like seriously, have you ever done that? I've never done that. Why can't you be hot? Why can't you, I don't know, be nice like her? Why can't you this? Bro, I mean, it's just it's actually when you think about it on its face, it's astounding. It's really like it's bizarre, is what I would say. It's
Okay, so
quite
why?
yeah.
Okay, continue. Go ahead.
No, no, I'm just trying to like I never understood that. I never understood where it's almost unfair. It's almost like literally, it's almost like saying, why can't you be Michael Jordan? Because I'm not. I'm not black and 6'6" and I can't fly. Sorry. You don't like it? Bye bye. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where does that come from? What is this? Do you know, Frank? Do you know anything?
I could give it a shot.
Sure.
I'm just not sure when your question is completed.
Oh, what? No, it's definitely completed.
Okay. Okay, so some ladies,
Yeah. Not all. This is not all, obviously.
no, some ladies, probably all, but whatever. Okay. They seem to think that if a guy doesn't do something or has not accomplished something, it's because they didn't care enough about their wife to do that. You understand?
Yeah.
Which means, and it's kind of a backhanded compliment if you think about it. It's the way that women feel about their husbands is a lot like the way Jew haters feel about Jews.
As in,
They consider us supermen.
yeah.
Like
We're
Jew
like
haters.
we're angels. We're supposed to be angels, kind of thing.
Well, Jew haters, they think like we were reading the protocols of the elders of Zion, right?
Yeah.
And so we're delving into the sick mind of a Jew hater who you could hear what they think Jews are capable of.
Yeah.
Right? Like we were somehow able to infiltrate their minds and their
Yeah.
very spirits and their hearts.
We control the
and make them
world.
do
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, yeah.
We control the world. We control their thinking and their education and their
Yeah.
and everything that they whatever non-Jews eat and this and everything
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm reading this thinking to myself, like, I have trouble getting up on time. I dread going to the dentist.
Yeah.
I don't like to,
Yeah.
like just doing like 5 errands a day.
You know what I tell
wipes me
people?
out.
I never got my Soros payout, you know? I never got the
Thank
check
you.
from the Soros Foundation. Anyway.
But no, that's my point. It's like the thing that your wife expects from you is very similar to what Jew haters expect from Jews,
Yeah.
right? Like, why do you like? How do you? I sometimes I look at Jew haters and I'm like, how do you think I'm capable of what you're what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like me, like I've been struggling to just not be chubby for most of my life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I can barely get myself to be a functioning human being.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no marketable skills.
Yeah.
How do you expect me to accomplish the things that you're talking about?
Yeah.
And because they somehow internally they really think we can do it.
Yeah.
right?
No, but here's the kicker.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm still answering your question. And that's kind of how some wives feel about their husbands, right?
Okay.
In
Yeah.
a certain way, it's a good thing because she thinks you're capable of that. You're
Yeah.
just lazy,
No,
or,
but
or you
why
just
does she
don't
feel
care
the
enough
need to
about her
Yeah.
to be, to be ambitious enough to accomplish what he
But
accomplished.
I was gonna say, why bring another dude's stuff into the equation?
Because she wants it. She she wants the house. She wants the whatever it is. Doesn't matter
Yeah,
what she
yeah,
wants.
yeah.
She
Uh-huh.
wants. That's why she's bringing it in. She's like, why this guy did it? Why can't you do it?
Because
And
I suck and you're with me, so go away.
no, that's not.
I don't know
No,
what to
no. At the
tell
same
you.
no. At the same time, you don't want her to think that, because if she actually,
Obviously, it's not true.
just hear me out. Just
Yeah.
like I'm trying to get you to focus on something, and you're like a mess. It's like herding cats with you sometimes.
Herding cats.
Focus, Greg. Focus.
I have trouble hurting just my one cat. Anyway, go on.
Exactly.
Continue.
Okay, me too. But it's my turn to get you to focus. All right. So the point is that they think that you're capable of it, and you got to be careful because that's evidence of something. The fact that she thinks that you can that you can do that, and you just haven't gotten around to it because you don't care enough about her,
Yeah,
is a sign that she holds you in she has a certain estimation about you,
for sure.
right?
For sure.
And you got to make sure that she's wrong 100% before you explain to her
Yeah.
that no, I'm really not capable of that, and you should have to deal with it. Because if
Yeah.
you're going to reveal that about yourself, and she's going to be extremely disappointed, you got to be, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if
you're risking your relationship.
Here's the kicker. It's totally okay. I find it totally okay for a woman to be, to expect certain things that she thinks I'm capable of, etc., etc. What upsets me is when it's like, again, it's when our parents did this. I don't know if your parents did this. My parents did this. The why can't you be more like X scenario? This statement. That's the thing that pisses me off. If you, meaning okay, every person is different. I am me, he is him, and yeah, I do things to show that I care, or I do things to show that I've always done things for others that I've been with, like, dated, to go the extra mile. It may not be in the style or specifically what like this whole love language is shit, right? Oh, my love language is that. All this stuff created by Gnostic freaking fruitcakes. Folks, ladies, anyone in the Jewish world watching this, and if you read that book, Love Languages, take that book. The next time you're burning chametz on Pesach, burn it with the chametz. Burn that book. Burn it. Burn it. Burn it. Burn it. Because you know what? That book makes you not appreciate your husband, the guy you picked. Love languages. Languages. Okay, so
Let me
stop
get
comparing.
Kabbalistic.
Yeah,
I was about to get Kabbalistic up in this piece.
ужас.
But before we do that, I just, I think the first time I ever heard that term love language, I don't know why. There was some clip from Katy Perry,
Yeah,
and it hurts me that I know her name. By the way, I'm embarrassed. I feel ashamed of that. I feel like I've
yeah.
sunk low in certain ways. The fact that I can remember her name. That I'm not like Katie.
Frank, can I
Whatever.
say one quick thing before you continue? Dude, like when I became religious, this whole thing of, it's called Shomonigia. You're not supposed to
By the way,
touch.
this is the fourth quick thing away
Yeah,
from the point. Go
really,
ahead.
really quick. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to touch, a person before marriage, this and that. So someone I was dating, who's supposedly, this person is like, became religious like I did, later in life. My love language is touch. What am I supposed to do? I'm a religious Jew. If I want to keep Shomer Negia, my love language is touch. I don't know if I can feel something unless you touch me, unless somebody touches me.
It's everybody's love language.
Dude, I want to literally go Mike Tyson on in this
Look, if the
situation.
shit, look, if
Anyway,
look, I can only tell you what I would do, and I'm probably wrong in a lot of cases, and I'm sure everybody, just to be on the safe side, will say they're wrong,
yeah.
right? But I would touch her.
I did that.
No, hold on a second. I would maybe a hug,
Yeah.
something, holding
Yeah.
hands, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because in Judaism, touch isn't like toxic, or like you're not gonna like
Yeah,
immediately
you're not gonna
shrivel.
melt. Yeah.
You're not gonna melt, and you're not gonna be hated by God. Or the whole thing about not touching someone that's not your wife is because if for there's all sorts of people out there.
It's a fence. Yeah.
Okay, it's a fence, and some people are a little bit less animalistic than others, right?
Yeah.
And touching a girl's hand is not necessarily going to overwhelm them.
Yeah.
Like basically what it is, it's a recognition of a spectrum of people, of different types of people, and there's a range.
Yeah.
You have all the way to Muslim migrants in Paris who a woman walks by and they immediately try to rape her,
Yeah.
right? To some people, they could literally kind of you could have a girl lying next to you, right? Like pressed up against you, and you're not going to be overwhelmed with passion to the point where you can't get rid of it. There's a range. There's different types of people. Okay.
Yeah.
So this law of like shomer and nagia, meaning not touching, it's kept. It's a level of piety, right? Where you're like, regardless of who I am in that spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to take no chances, right? I want to make sure that I don't transgress what God doesn't want me to do. So I'm not even going to take a chance in doing that. Okay. But if the situation is so dire where the girl that you're going to marry is going to step away because she wants a hug every now and then,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever, I think that probably saving that relationship is more important. I could be wrong. It just seems to me that way. And I can hear many rabbinical voices just like guffawing right now.
Yeah.
Did I say that right? Guffaw?
Guffaw, yeah.
I want to make sure I use that correctly. What is, they're either guffawing or pshawing. One of maybe both.
Guffaw is loud, boisterous laugh, yeah.
No, they're not laughing. I'm sorry. That's not the one. They're harumphing. Harumph, harumph.
Harumph is like clearing the throat noisily, or whatever.
Verbal disapproval.
Yeah, no, I get you.
They're not. They probably don't agree. Okay, but
yeah.
Look, you have to use some common sense.
Yeah.
Okay. The touch is not the transgression. The transgression is inappropriate sexual behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. The no touching is a fence to protect against something that might lead to inappropriate sexual behavior.
Yeah, it's like the joke might lead to mixed dancing. Yeah.
The mixed dancing is a problem because it might lead to
mixed dancing.
To inappropriate right.
So you were saying about you were saying about
the Kabbalistic thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was saying how embarrassed I was about knowing who Katy Perry is.
Yeah.
But these people are like literally, they're like imposed upon our consciousness, right? Like you can't, like, they're put on billboards and like on all screens. You can't get away from it. So it's not entirely my fault. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I heard her say the term love language, like my love language or something. And I'm like, oh, that term bothers me a lot. Yeah. And I'm sure the fact that it came out of her mouth probably has something to do with it. I'm just saying, I'm a little biased, whatever.
Yeah.
That's all I know about it.
Yeah.
So you triggered me, Greg. You triggered me.
I'm sorry.
This term. But I'm going to need you to stop chatting with people online or.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
I can see what's happening.
By the way, I want to tell you the who wrote that book is a Baptist pastor, Gary Chapman.
We're not going there. Okay,
anyway.
We're not going to Baptist pastors right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So listen.
Yeah.
there is. Wait a minute, I lost my train of thought. I'm confused for a second. What was I going to talk about?
You were the Kabbalistic something to do with what I brought up.
I was,
The love languages thing, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I think it has to do with not understanding what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Again, we're discussing like why do women, say stuff like that to their guys, right?
Compare me to other guys, yeah. Or their friends' boyfriends or friends' husbands.
Because they have a non-marriage view of marriage. That's why.
Yeah.
Women are taught that marriage is about getting them stuff that they want, whether it be a relationship, a romance, a child, material comfort. That's what women are taught marriage is. It's a way of improving your life. A woman wants to get married, used to be, not used to be, still to a great extent, and certainly going back further in history, right? Getting married was a way for a woman's life to progress. Like a woman had like a vision of what her life is like, and it's usually that vision was about marriage and they picture a house, they picture parties, they picture a certain type of wedding, they picture a certain type of groom, he's dressed a certain way, he looks like this, they picture a horsey. It starts from early childhood.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how they never really progress from that. It's very Seinfeldian.
Yeah.
Right? To create a term, right? Like you were mentioning earlier that the characters never
they never learn anything, they never grow.
They never ask who placed us here and what their purpose is and what is our job in that respect.
Yeah.
To most people, I'm not picking on women, most people are like that, right?
Yeah.
So but I'm just saying the nature of that question is based on this completely false notion. We're placed here by the creator, okay, who has his own purpose for it.
Yeah.
Okay. The creator's vision is not Bridezilla's vision. In a lot of ways, Bridezilla's vision is a competing vision to the creator. It's anti-vision of the creator.
Yeah.
And that's where all marriage conflict comes from.
Yeah.
The further the woman veers away, the less the woman is aware of and or cares about what the creator expects out of marriage, the more unhappiness there is.
Yeah.
Okay. So women, throughout history, they've told each other fairy tales, right? And that's caused all the problems and all the expectations of things that just don't manifest, right?
Yeah.
And having wrong expectations and then those things not happening is what causes most of the unhappiness, right?
Yeah.
Like if you don't have, like my mom told me one time about people in Russia.
Yeah.
In Soviet Union.
Yeah.
They didn't even know what they were missing.
Correct.
Just like just across the border in Poland.
Yeah.
The level, the standard of living was so much higher that most people in Soviet Union could not even picture what they didn't know. So my point is, I'm not trying to say this is not me complimenting the Soviet Union.
No.
But that one little aspect of that of that is that if a woman is never told that this is what your husband should be like, and this is what you should be like, and this is what your house should look like, and this is what you need to strive for, and this is what you should want, and all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then she wouldn't expect it.
Yeah. She would just look at her man and say, "Is this the
and say,
man for
"This is
me?"
right, right."
Yeah,
So
like
God,
that's why I always tell my parents they're very, it's almost in a way, and this is probably the problem that I have because my parents met in that kind of setting where it's like not only they met in that kind of setting, they, where everybody, I call it equally poor, but not poor, but just equally, whatever you just described. And on top of that, they literally fought to be with each other. Not each other, they didn't fight each other, they fought to be with each other. They fought their families because,
right?
my
One
father
piece,
was
right?
leaving, going to America, and they didn't want, my mom's parents didn't want her to be with him, and then they fought through that.
Yeah,
And this is the example again, this is the it's not idyllic, but this is the example that I have of two people who really wanted to be with each other. They fought to be with each other. They were with each other because of just each other, not because of whatever. It's funny actually. My grandfather wanted my father's father, to marry. Actually, it's funny. Literally, the daughter of a butcher's daughter, and they everybody jokes that in their house they had in Russian lustry, like chandeliers, whatever. That was like the mark of like somebody, people who are like well-to-do. They have like regular, like can access to meat on a regular basis, and like chandeliers in the house. So that was the extent of like, and that was just my grandfather who wanted that kind of for my dad and whatever it is, right? My dad didn't give a crap. He just wanted a good girl who he clicked with intellectually and every other way. That happened to be my mom. They met in college. Same thing with my mom. To a point where like I remember my parents told me they broke up for a little bit because of this whole argument. They couldn't stand the arguments about the whole America thing. So they had to separate for a little bit. And then it got to a point where my dad was literally miserable. He was like literally could not live without my mom. And he sent like his friends as like emissaries to talk to her and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, and that's it's not a movie version. It's funny. It sounds like a movie version to people, but I would say that it's like a real movie version where it's like an actual real love story as opposed to a bullshit love story, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? It's what love stories should be. And that's the example that I have, and that's what I'm kind of I can't say I'm looking for that, but I am looking for something real. And it's very, very difficult in a materialistic Western world to find something that's based on what I just described, where people are just with each other, because of like they're looking at the other person just because of the who the person is, where a woman looks at a man for who he is, not what quote unquote he brings to the table, whatever this fucking table is, pardon my language, and that's it. Because at the end of the day, because people are doing not that, that's why we have a 60% divorce rate. Literally, that's the reason. That is the reason, dude. And by the way, Israel, the more westernized Israel has become over the years, the more whatever, sad imitation of America they want to be, the more they have an increasing divorce rate in Israel. It's not as bad, but it's getting there, where people are just,
I don't know how to proceed because I was like making a point and like
I
you're.
apologize.
No, I'm saying your tangent is like I don't know how to work my way back now.
Your way back is you were talking about people don't know, didn't know what they were missing.
No, I was about to describe what like. Let me try it again.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So earlier we were describing how like women are told certain stories about what and based on those stories like even the modern versions like Hollywood is built on those like old fairy tales, right, and those old wives tales about what little girls who grow into women want and expect, like the expectations mature. They don't mature, they just get more extravagant with as a woman gets older, closer to adulthood, right? The expectations grow, the hopes grow, right? And that's problematic because that doesn't jive with what God wants.
Yeah.
Marriage is a God thing. It's his idea. It's not marriage is not about little girls and their dreams. Marriage is about God and his dream, so to speak. He has a certain, it's a job. That real marriage is a job. It's a mitzvah. It's one of those things that God came down to the world, to his creation, and communicated that he wants people to do. But it's not what people think it is. It's if the little girl hears about marriage, she gets all excited. If she hears about marriage, if she hears that, oh, God said that he wants us to get married, all of a sudden she thinks marriage is what she thinks it is, in her fantasies. But it's not that at all. It's not that at all. It's actually the opposite. Marriages throughout human history, especially in the 20th century, right? And now, whoever gets married is sort of like 99% the girl's dream, and maybe like a point here and there, like one little percent, maybe some consideration to. It's like God is completely peripheral. God is the one who created marriage.
Yeah.
It was his idea, just like the whole creation in itself is his idea. So this is his show. It's not your show.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way,
it's not. So basically, I'm just saying that like marriage is. Here's what marriage is. According to God, from his perspective, he wants a man to live with a woman after a ceremony. In that ceremony, they pledge loyalty to each other. Okay, and they what's the term that they use? Like I've heard it in the English ceremonies. Like they exclude everybody else out of their lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a designated person for intimacy, for loyalty, for support, okay, for childbearing, for child raising, right? For everything that's important in life, okay. And you ought to love this person. It's not something that you necessarily start out with.
Yeah.
But God wants you to love this person kind of like the way he wants you to love him, where it says you ought to love you ought to love what's important. That's something that I learned semi recently, which I never really could quite understand. I actually learned this concept from Manis Friedman, right?
Yeah.
Where your wife is somebody you should love. Why? Because they're important. Very often you love there's sometimes you love somebody who's not important. But what's important? Let's define importance. Importance is somebody who is partnered with you in serving God. Okay? And if you're told, and if you accept the premise, right? Like again, you're speaking to a religious person, ideally, who understands that serving God is the primary thing they need to do, right? So you tell that person, you ought to love your wife, even if you don't love her. Let's say, like automatically, naturally, you're not naturally inclined. You don't feel that kind of love that everybody thinks of, right? But you should, because she's the most important person in your life. So the Torah is telling you that you have to you should love what's important.
Yeah.
You should love God because God is the most important thing in your life, right? There are reasons for it. So in a certain way, it is about the mind conquering the heart. It is. It's about the mind. The mind has to conquer the heart in a certain way. And that is a Torah premise where if you if you study something or if you contemplate something long enough, you meditate upon its importance, right? And eventually that does affect the heart.
Yeah.
You do begin, you can, in a sense, control emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like keeping like passions at bay, but actually you can convince yourself to love something,
Yeah.
to love someone, when you understand its importance, right? And I think that's a lot of what we're doing. In fact, sometimes that might be the tikkun, right? The
Yeah.
particular, the primary task. Tikkun is a Hebrew word for rectification,
Yeah.
for fixing something, right? We're brought here. Human beings are brought here to rectify something from a previous time. Let's put it that way, right?
Yeah.
Or to rectify something that's not right in the world, right? Like basically the ideal is, right, like the if the world were functioning correctly, everybody would automatically, their emotions would match what their destiny is. Let me rephrase that. Their emotions, like you would love and feel the most amount of passion about your wife, right? Or
Life or wife?
Wife.
Oh.
Your wife. WIFE. Wife.
Yeah.
Okay. You would, because she's your wife, therefore you would be the most passionate about her.
Yeah.
Not because she's the hottest chick and then that's why she became your wife. Right? In a perfected world, your passions would only be channeled to where God wanted them to. Like if God wanted you to be, like God said that this is the girl, right? So that means that somehow in a perfect world, your passions and your attraction would only be channeled into her. Like no one else could be attractive to you aside from those that God wanted you to be with. Like that's an ideal world. You following, Greg?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Right? So God put us in the least ideal world where we have to somehow see if we can transform the world as it is into the ideal world that God wants. The standard for ideal is the world that God's put forth. Okay, so basically the ideal is, I think, in terms of, at least from emotions, is that the people that you are surrounded with, the people in your family, right? The people who God needs you to be with and to help, right? That would be the things that you're most passionate about, ideally.
Mm-hmm.
But as we see, that's not the reality, right? How often are we passionate about the things that God wants us to be passionate about? Right? We actually struggle to have any feeling whatsoever about the things that God wants us to do. Mm-hmm. We do it kind of like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. It's sort of like, imagine an ideal world is like this. I know that this is a metaphor, so don't take it too technically. I'm talking to everyone, not just you. Yeah. Imagine a world where your mom says, go clean your room, right? Instead of like dragging your feet about it, right? And like, all right, I'm going to do it because my mom, it's not what I want to do. I want to be playing video games. I want to be riding my bike. I want to be out playing with my friends. I want to have super soaker fights in the park. I don't want to be cleaning my room. Okay. But you love your mom and you're going to do it, right? So in an ideal world, when your mom says, clean your room, like that, all of a sudden, that's what you want to be doing.
Yeah.
I know, as amazing as corny as that sounds, right? And as like, like we can't really imagine a reality where we would actually like all the corny stuff that we think is corny, right? Is not corny in an ideal world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Everything God wants us to do is corny. It feels corny. It doesn't feel natural.
It doesn't.
Not to me.
Waving a palm branch.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, building a hut.
And it's also unfamiliar
and
to
then
me.
this, yeah, building a hut and dismantling it.
Right. And just as a side note, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I remember when I was like just taking interest in Torah because of the Torah codes, right? Okay. So then when I started interacting with like rabbis, right? Rabbis for some reason always assume that you have some familiarity with like Jewishness. Like if you're a Jewish kid, that means like, you probably heard Mama Lush, and you probably, maybe your parents or your grandparents, like they spoke Yiddish, or they knew something about Pesach, or there was something Jewish kind of like in your life.
Yeah.
I had very little of that. Like my grandparents, they spoke Yiddish to when they didn't want me to understand what they were talking about.
Yeah. So
it was like the distant language.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know what Shabbos was until I was 14.
Yeah.
And later on, I thought to myself, how the hell am I even Jewish?
Yeah.
Like, how does a Jew not know about Shabbos until they're 14?
Yeah.
Okay. How did I slip through the cracks that much for 14 years?
Well, it's weird because you kind of lived in a neighborhood in Brooklyn where you at least you saw.
Yeah, but we didn't like them.
No, like Orthodox Jews just kind of walking.
Yeah. I was like, they look weird to me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they still look weird. No.
It looks crazy.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not attractive.
Yeah.
Okay. So I, it was actually kind of like something that I wanted to be distant from.
Yeah.
Okay. And, so anyway, like, I remember I saw this, like, when I was like 5 or 6, I saw this ridiculous movie called California Hunk. It's about like a Jewy guy, kind of like a skinny, scrawny, Jewy looking guy who he finds like a magic, like a genie's lamp. All of a sudden, she transforms him to this like California looking, kind of like Aryan looking, surfer dude and stuff like that. I'm like, that's what I want.
It's called Hunk.
She turned him into a hunk.
Lawrence,
basically some kind of squirrely, Jewy looking guy. She turns into
a Jewish guy wrote this movie, and
of course he did.
Oh my god, he wants to be a goy.
Yeah. And then when I saw that movie, I'm like, yeah, that looks great. Like
listen to this.
Where I'm coming from.
Listen to this. Whatever. After his girlfriend elopes with her aerobics instructor, Bradley Brinkman spends so much time daydreaming of being a confident, sexy, and powerful man that he is about to lose his job. While desperately trying to meet a deadline, he types, "I'd sell my soul for a money-making program," into the computer. The computer prints the Yuppie program, which becomes hugely popular and gains him a large bonus and a paid summer off to write anything he wants. Bradley spends his entire bonus renting a rundown beach house in a very high-end part of California coastline. He first sees O'Brien, the devil's agent, while taking a walk on the beach with his new neighbor, Chachka, who introduces him to his highly stuck-up yuppie neighbors who verbally and physically abuse him. He further attempts to socialize with his neighbors and live a rich yuppie lifestyle. Are mocked, and they throws a house party that no one else comes to. O'Brien appears again and explains that she occupied his computer and wrote the yuppie program for him. She offers to make him a hunk, the kind of man women want and men want to be, in exchange for his soul. This includes.
I thought she was a genie or something.
No, it's similar. This includes a sell your soul for the summer trial, where he can get his previous body and his soul refunded if he's not satisfied with the deal. Without really taking it seriously, he signs the contract. He wakes up the next day as Hunk Golden in a transformed body. After a day, O'Brien steps in and actively helps him become his new persona. As Hunk Golden, he is a natural martial arts master, can eat anything and not gain weight, drink without getting drunk, has
Sounds great.
self-cleaning. He's basically like a walking Instagram, one of those, and in unbreakable bones. Women flock to have sex with him. He sets fashion trends as the deadline to finalize the deal. Labor Day approaches. Hunk seeks help from a psychiatrist, Dr. Sonny Graves, to try and save his old soul and body. She tells him to embrace being the hunk that he is, while she helps him with his apparent delusion of being Bradley Brinkman. After another night of sex with a random woman, O'Brien introduces Hunk to the chairman of the board of the Devil himself, Incorporated, Dr. D, currently in the form of Attila the Hun. Oh my God. Hunk notices that he also looks like Captain Kravitz, the former owner of the beach house. He tells Hunk there is a vast demon shortage, and Dr. D plans to have him working with some of the worst killers in history, like Ivan the Terrible, Jack the Ripper, and Benito Mussolini. After Dr. D leaves, O'Brien romanticizes the two of them bombing Pearl Harbor together as a pair of time-traveling satanic salespeople. While at the beachfront with Sonny, a drunk television host, Garrison Gaylord, is about to hit them and drives his Jeep off the pier when Hunk turns and stops it with his bare hands. Gaylord's television director catches the entire incident on film, and Hunk becomes an instant celebrity. Sonny and Hunk kiss, but after he leaves, Dr. D appears. Okay, whatever. Kitzer, he's like this character.
Okay,
Whatever.
Greg, that was a wonderful 5 hour
Yeah,
tangent.
sorry.
I just wanted to
Whatever.
mention it slightly. By the way, in that movie, I think he actually like the demon or the genie. I thought it was a genie
Yeah.
that he was dealing with is actually like a cute girl,
Yeah, it is, yeah.
right? And then
Only something,
and he ends up with her, like,
Yeah.
and like he wants, like she loves the real him,
Yeah.
and something like she hopes that he doesn't take the deal, and
Yeah.
then he goes back to his former self, and she ends up with him as the squirrely Jewish looking guy who's not
Yeah.
a hunk at all, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
in the end, it kind of, I guess it's kind of a happy ending or so. But I remember being 5, I'm like being disappointed. I'm like, no, don't go back to that. Just stay the powerful hunk or whatever. Blah blah blah. Okay,
Yeah.
so my point was that when I was introduced to Torah and I took an interest in it, it was first of all, it was a shock to me that I would have an interest in it. I'm like, oh, really? Wow, this is I can't believe that those people, the ones who I didn't really want to have any association with. I didn't understand them. I don't understand. Why do they look like that? Why do they live like that?
Yeah.
Why are they doing this to me?
Yeah.
To a certain extent, you know what I mean?
To you, that's what.
Like maybe that's why
Yeah.
our friend G kind of like feels.
Correct. Yes.
Except in this
I think he does.
except in his late 80s now, not when they were not like I felt that way when I was 7. You know what I mean? Like 6,
He's not in his
7.
late 80s. He's what?
I'm exaggerating a little
Yes.
bit. He's our age. I understand. Okay, I'm
Yes.
just saying like well into adulthood is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Anyway, so the reason I bring that up is that I feel like a convert.
For sure.
Understand? Like I feel like I feel like I had the same experience as a convert, except for the part where I had to do the dunk.
Yeah.
Where you have to go into the mikvah. You know what I mean? But it feels like 85% the same experience, basically. You know what I mean? I don't know why I'm putting that number on it. Maybe 90% the same experience.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a different culture. It doesn't feel natural to me. It didn't feel natural to me.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm still working on it. Like 30 years into this.
Yeah.
Okay. And I find it just as peculiar, right? So that's when I say the Kabbalistic point. There's no folks. There's no such thing as Kabbalah. It's just Torah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no secret. Nothing. It's just Torah. Okay. And the big secret is God needs stuff from people. Okay. He needs us to do certain things. He needs, he wants, he needs. He doesn't want what he doesn't need. Okay. So he needs us to do some stuff. He wants things a certain way. And he made it difficult to do that because what he wants is for us not just to do the mitzvahs, but he wants us to do the mitzvahs and use the mitzvahs as a way to connect to him, which means that he wants us to use the mitzvahs aside from what the mitzvah itself accomplishes, but it's also a way to choose in a daily or multi times a day, right? Like many times, every time you can do multiple mitzvahs a day, and every time you do a mitzvah throughout the course of the day, you're choosing over and over again with every mitzvah to have a relationship with God, and it's a willing thing. Okay, and the choice is sometimes difficult. It's more difficult for others because the less natural it feels, right?
Yeah.
The more difficult it is to make that choice. But then again, the more, I think, the more, if you want to use the term satisfaction, I don't know if you can use that term with God, but let's say the more the more we accomplish our task.
Yeah.
It's like the less natural it feels, the stronger the statement is of us
Correct.
saying we're connecting. We are choosing to have a relationship with you and to fulfill your will.
Yeah.
Because if it felt natural, totally natural, then it's not much of a challenge. Then what you're just doing, you're fulfilling your own nature.
What can I tell you something?
I'll say the last thing, just on this point.
Yeah.
And that has this point that we're just trying to make is Abraham's test, his final test, his 10th test that God put him through, which is he told him to Abraham, a person who literally was pure love and loving kindness and giving, and who fought his entire life, certainly his entire adult life, in stopping human and child sacrifice.
Yeah.
He fought those who promoted child sacrifice tooth and nail. He was the most famous proponent on earth against child sacrifice. And then of all things, God, tells him to, or worded something, a communication to Abraham, in a sense, to make Abraham think that God wanted him to go up and sacrifice his only son, Isaac.
Yeah.
Even though Isaac was 37 at the time, but he was described as the young man. Compared to Abraham, he was a young man, but whatever. So that was so against Abraham's will, right? It was the opposite of his will. It was the most unnatural possible thing. It scrambled his mind, where Abraham had to transcend his own rational mind to do what God asked him to do. Okay. Now it turns out that obviously God didn't let him go through with it, and God, Abraham passed the test and all that kind of stuff. But the point is that it seems that part of choosing to have a relationship with God is it seems to sometimes mean living in discomfort or going against your own preferences for him. Okay? In order to do that, you have to really understand what we're brought here to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like God, he brought us here, he made us, he filled us with proclivities and inclinations.
Yeah.
Then we're told that God needs you to do certain things, even though they go against your own proclivities and inclinations. Okay? If you're gay, he wants you to get married to a woman. If you feel gay, he still wants you to marry a woman and have children. Go against your own inclinations to do his will. Go against your own will to do his will. Okay? You know what I mean? If you're dying for excitement, and your idea of excitement is going out Friday night, clubbing, partying, and all that kind of stuff, like you literally like dream about it, you fantasize, that's what you live for, that's what you want to do, right? God said no. None of that excitement, none of that stuff that you like. No fun. Nothing that you like. You go and you do this other stuff. You sit with these people at a table, first of all, before that, you go say prayers in this
Yeah.
place with these other people. Then you go and you sit and you go to somebody's house, right? If you're not married, and you kind of stand at the table until the father comes down. All of a sudden, you sing these three songs that, depending on the family, might take an hour. You know, you're getting tired and hungry. You're standing there swaying in the kind of a somber melody. Okay. Then the father makes he makes kiddush. He makes this blessing on this wine. You take a sip of wine, even if you don't like the idea of like drinking from a cup that somebody else drank from, right? You know what I mean? Then you have to wash for bread. Then you have a meal. You sing these songs. You're not even allowed to, like, you got to limit the kind of conversations that you have at the table. It can only be like, it was unnatural for me.
Yeah.
It's a struggle to deal with that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend like, oh, it's so wonderful.
No, I get you.
You understand?
Can I say one?
Okay, marriage is like that too.
I just want to say one thing about the unnatural versus natural thing. I will say, I think we even mentioned this before. Like, for example, when I put on tefillin, it's funny. It's not natural for me to go walk over and put on tefillin, like do the act of it, right? To force myself and bring myself to do that. But once I do it, or as I'm doing it, it does actually feel natural. It feels my soul gets a sense of calm, if that makes any sense.
Oh, it's natural for your soul.
Yeah, meaning it's kind of like, it's not natural for me to get in my car and drive to the gym, but when my body is like going through this motion of lifting this and lifting that, and then the endorphins kick in, then it's like, whoa, it's good. My body's like, it's good that you did this for me, right? So it's almost like it's not natural for us to think about or for us to want to go do a holiday or want to do some, weird mitzvah connected to a holiday, any holiday really, or any mitzvah. It's not natural. But once we're doing it, again, at least the idea is that if you have what's called a healthy neshama, as you're doing it, it feels natural, right? Meaning like you said, it feels natural to your soul, but and then it does enter your not only subconscious, enters your conscious like it's not faculty, but conscious how should I put this? Like you're feeling it consciously that it is a natural thing as you're doing it. But the idea of getting yourself to even do it does not come naturally unless you're like, the only people it comes naturally to is tzaddikim. We've spoken about this, right?
Basically,
Yeah.
I want to describe what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Most people, right? Like your consciousness, your interface with the world, right? What you're experiencing, what the you of what you when you think of yourself and how you go through the world like that,
Yeah.
right? That is not your godly soul.
Correct.
Your godly soul is something in the background.
Yeah.
You sense its presence.
For most people. Yeah.
This is for the average person, for people like me. Okay? Your conscious experience is your animating soul. It's not a bad thing. Your animating soul is it's something entirely different than what we referred to before as the evil inclination. Okay? The evil inclination is also something in the periphery, right? So the animated soul is like this neutral territory that is sort of like in some ways it serves as the battleground between your godly soul and this external thing called the evil inclination. Okay? It's like internal external. Like it's there, but it's not really you. Your godly soul, it is an extension of you. Your animated soul that you're interacting with, that is actually an extension of the godly soul. That's you.
Yeah.
The evil influence that's present there, right?
Yeah.
Is not actually part of you. That is truly an external entity. Okay. But your godly soul that you're connected to, which is an extension of you, right? Or you're an extension of it, is not your primary experience. It's somewhere in the periphery, but you feel its presence.
Yeah.
You feel its gravity. You feel its effect on you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you as your animated soul, right? That's exposed to various influences, right? You choose to do something like you choose to put on tefillin.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't come from a religious family where you didn't do that, or you're not used to it or something like that. So doing it is not, it doesn't feel natural. It's not a habit that you have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you go and do it, and you kind of force yourself to do it, even though there's a lot of people don't really know what they're doing. They just know it's a mitzvah, and they put it on, because it says in Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 4, and a few other places in the Torah, right? Put a sign on your, you put the sign on your hand, between your eyes, right? That's not the exact wording, but you guys know what I'm talking about, okay?
Yeah.
So people do this primarily because this is something that God communicated to us that he wants, and it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. Okay? Like these black boxes with leather boxes with straps, and it has scrolls inside. And I mean, when you really sit and think about it and ponder it, and you learn, the more you learn about it, the more amazing it is, right? It really is quite incredible. But most people don't really know. Most people don't know any of the cool stuff about it.
Yeah.
So they just do it, and it's a strange thing. Okay. So when you do it, and what you were describing as a natural feeling, I would describe it differently. I would describe it as your soul is kind of not making you miserable for a moment.
Yeah.
It's a relief, because your soul is your nagging conscience.
Yeah.
You ever feel like your conscience is like this nagging thing?
Yeah.
Like you just it won't leave you in peace.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you just want to sit there and smoke weed.
Yeah.
And I don't smoke weed, but I know a lot of people who do. And I see that they just want to sit there in peace and smoke weed, right?
Yep.
And when something is bothering them or interfering with them doing that, relaxing, just kind of like zoning out, just kind of like, it's like, please just leave me alone. So that's what that's what your godly soul is. It's like that. It's like some person, or your mother, your girlfriend, an annoying friend, or whatever, who won't leave you alone to just kind of do what you want to do. Zone out, relax, not get involved, watch TV. Okay. But when you do it, and it was the right thing to do, right? Your soul kind of gives you a pat on the back, or it just kind of like, it stops annoying you for a moment, right?
Yeah.
Because you did what you did something good, and you feel it. Okay.
Yeah.
So bringing it back to marriage, it's not sexy. Okay. It's not exciting. Maybe it's not. Okay. These ideas. Okay. But that's what marriage is. So just to kind of summarize, God wants you to get married to a person that he decided was important in your life. Okay. That person is not necessarily the person that you are the most attracted to physically, or the most that you're naturally inclined to want to be with, or the most intelligent person, or the most intellectually stimulating person, or the most of anything. It's not about their qualities.
Yeah.
Okay. There's something about that person that God wants you to be with. It's the them part of them, not the things about them.
Yeah.
You following, Greg?
Yeah, of course.
A beautiful woman, her beauty is not her. It's a thing that that is that is that she has, right? It's like having a lot of money
Yeah,
in the bank. It's a
yeah,
thing that you have.
yeah,
It's not you.
yeah, correct.
Your beauty is not you. Your
Hmm.
wit is not
Hmm.
you.
Yeah,
Your anything you can describe about a person, it's not them. It's something they have.
yep.
So God wants people. He puts two people together to not the these people. Let me try to. It's not so easy, you know.
Yeah,
Two people means the them.
yeah,
God puts two thems
yeah,
together.
yeah,
Now each them, right? Like my each, like let's use my hands as an example.
mm,
Here's one them, here's another them, and it
yeah,
has nothing to do with those pronouns that we're talking about, folks. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
The person. Here's the person, and here's the person. Okay. Some people have beauty, some people don't, but they're still the person.
yeah,
Some people have money, some people don't, but they're still the person. So God is not putting their money or their beauty together, He's putting them together. The
yeah,
essential part, two essences coming together,
yeah,
okay? And they get married, they have a wedding, okay? And then they have loyalty to each other,
yeah,
they support each other, they respect each other, and they work on loving each other. That's
hmm,
God's idea of marriage. Where you have to transcend, you have to try to transcend all the things that what people generally look for, right? You know, like
mm,
we come from a society where how's the sex? Before you get married, find out how the sex is.
yeah. Try before you
Like
buy.
that's the
All that
exact
kind of stuff.
opposite of God, like
Yeah, yeah,
of God's view of marriage.
yeah,
Like marriage is, you know, to the world at best is sort of like, well, you want to be safe, right? And you
yeah,
want somebody to be there. You don't want to be
mm,
alone,
yeah,
right? And it's good to have a partner. You know, you guys could support each other in your endeavors, right? Like your career, she'll support you in your career. You'll take care of her. You'll have kids together. Everybody wants kids, right? And you experience the joy of kids.
yeah,
Like that's not God's vision. Even though those things can be like in the they can be accessories.
yeah,
They can be,
yeah,
but people focus on the accessories rather than the main points. So if you were to
right.
teach girls what we just talked about, right, and promote
Mhm.
that, it would be a completely different world. Guys too, obviously, right?
Yeah,
But girls are the ones with expectations,
yeah. You know what's
right?
fun? What's funny? They show this meme. I don't know if it's like whatever. They show like it's like a picture of like a whatever, like a nice apartment that a guy just moved into, and the apartment has just a mattress on the floor, and it says statistics. They did like a survey. It's like 40 50% of guys don't even have a bed frame in the first, I don't know, six. They're happy not to like, even care about getting a bed frame in the first 6 months of having an apartment. Just have a mattress on the floor and they're fine.
You know how
Why?
fucking annoying it is to
Yeah, to
go to a
IKEA, yeah.
furniture store.
And you know why we're fine? Because anyway, we're working, like they're talking about guys who are working their ass off, and we get, let's say a guy who just started as like some investment banker, right? Or let's just say, and he wakes up at 6 or 7 in the morning, he gets to work, and he comes home very, very late. So it's just like, he just wants to plop. He doesn't give a shit about a frame. If the bed is like this high off the ground or this high off the ground, who
Ladies,
cares?
ladies, Martha Stewart is the devil to guys.
Yes.
Even though she's hot, she's a good looking woman.
She was a
She's
model when she was
still.
younger.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying I'm not saying would now,
Yeah.
but she's still a pretty lady. She's a pretty lady. Okay.
My ex-roommate, Israeli guy, he went to Macy's, he was obsessed with Macy's and he went to Macy's and he bought, like a Martha Stewart dish set. And he's like, I want to use my Martha Stewart dish set for
Oh,
Shabbat.
okay, I know.
And we used
Okay.
to say, and we used to go, Martha Stewart. Anyway,
Right. So Martha Stewart, like that whole persona,
it's like the
you know,
American dream for him,
has
man.
has become like even in the Jewish world, folks, even in the religious Jewish world. When I say the Jewish world, I'm talking
Yeah,
about the Orthodox Jewish world, right?
yeah,
Where you become basically the wife becomes like Martha Stewart,
yeah,
but like her excuse is, oh, for God or for Shabbos or something like that, right? To as a way, the excuse is, oh, I'm honoring the Shabbos. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
need those. I need
My
that,
mother
that
calls it
table
cult. My
runner.
mother calls it culture or kultur multur. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you need to
yeah,
have that. That set of stemware or
yeah, yeah.
all these. There's this all this stuff. Okay, and it's all up, and it turns the excuse is, oh, we're giving COVID to Shabbos. Because we're supposed to, right? The Torah says you got to
Yeah,
honor the Shabbos.
yeah,
And if you're going to make something extravagant, you do it on Shabbos, right? If you're
yeah,
going to make an elegant meal,
yeah,
let it be for the Sabbath, right? If you're going to enjoy a
yeah,
delicacy, it should be on the Sabbath. That's a way of honoring the Sabbath and a way of remembering the Sabbath
yeah,
during the week, because that's a separate mitzvah. We have a mitzvah that we're supposed to remember the Sabbath, right?
yeah,
So observing the Sabbath is one mitzvah. Sanctifying the Sabbath is another mitzvah, and remembering the Sabbath is these are three different mitzvahs, right? So, how do you remember the Sabbath, right? It's an ongoing thing. It's like you don't just the wording, right? In the
yeah,
Hebrew, when you translate it, it means remembering now. It's not like you remember it once and you fulfilled it. No, you have to remember it as all the time. Like it's a perpetual thing.
yeah.
So if you're shopping somewhere and you see some kind of like I don't know some kind of delicacy or some kind of candy that you really want, be like, oh, I'm gonna buy that, and it's Monday or it's Sunday or something like that, right? Or Tuesday or Wednesday. Be like you buy that for the Sabbath. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, that'll be good to enjoy on the Sabbath. So that's you're fulfilling the mitzvah of remembering the Sabbath. Understand?
Yeah.
So so a lot of women have taken, they want a Martha Stewart life. And then like we could say, oh, okay, we get the Martha Stewart life. And the excuse is that, oh, we're honoring the Sabbath. It really
Yeah.
gets out of hand.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Like makes people go broke. Okay.
Yeah.
And and she's and that's like the most wholesome it gets nowadays.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay. And I don't that comment wasn't just it wasn't meant to focus on the Orthodox Jewish community. It was just like kind of like America in general, like American ladies, even the traditional like
Yeah.
American ladies, like it's all about like decorative cookies and smells all over the house. And, I love it too. It's nice. I'm not crapping on it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's nice and everything like that, but it becomes some kind of like image
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
about God.
Yeah.
Okay. So marriage is about God. It's about what he wants. Okay. And when when things go outside of that, I think that's when all the unhappiness happens because folks,
Mhm.
God doesn't really give everybody what they're dreaming of. There are very few people
Yeah.
who ever get to experience the stuff that they fantasize about, which means you have an entire world of miserable bastards
Mm-hmm.
who feel completely unfulfilled and they feel like they've been denied what they should be entitled to. And then you have unhappy, unsatisfied wives who demand that you provide them what other husbands provide their wives.
You know what's funny? In my case, it's not even like these are just what's been my experience. It's not even about providing anything in particular, or like some extravagant material thing. It's more like some kind of romantic gesture that, somebody else's husband or boyfriend did, and I am supposed to like, emulate whatever the heck that is. Or, for example, I'll give you another example, like people are, very, very obsessed with high-end dude, like people like hire photographers who are like photographers for Vogue magazine to do their weddings. Some people in like the Jewish world. And, if you ask a person, why do you want that? Well, I want to have good memories of my wedding. You can have fantastic memories of your wedding without a dude from Vogue, because a dude from Vogue, you got to pay gazillions of, whatever, like a lot of money to, and he's not even going to do a video, right? Or he may hire a video guy that's more money, right? As opposed to just hiring a good photographer. Today, even like like Mendy from Crown Heights can do fantastic photography for you for, a fraction of the price, and you can have fantastic memories and just the same, right? But no, you want the motherfucker from Vogue. You want him. And if you don't get him, there's gonna be a problem. Like, I don't know. Like, what can I say? You know what I'm saying?
No, that's very rare. Whoever you're talking about, I've never seen anybody
Uh,
on that level. Motherfucking, I don't know how many religious folks.
I
Orthodox Jewish families are not famous for being able to afford extravagant photographers from Vogue every now and then, but it's not a regular thing. Don't man, come on.
I'm
Give
not
me
talking about Orthodox Jewish families. I'm talking about something that I went through.
okay. All right.
So, and something where the friends of whoever actually hired this person, and then the person I was with had to, dude. I mean, I was just like, dude, like, and
Dude, can I
then
tell you
yeah,
something that I told someone one time?
sure,
So it's the same idea.
yeah,
Okay, even if it's like it's the lady is saying, "Why can't you buy me that thing that this other lady's husband did?"
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
why can't you do this romantic gesture that this other husband's did? Okay.
yeah,
So I was in a situation, not a situation, I was in a conversation one time with, and I actually feel bad about this. I feel really bad because I could be a little, I could say something that could be pretty painful, and I didn't really mean it, but
yeah,
afterwards, I'm like, oh shit.
yeah,
I was hanging out with this girl. We're not going out or anything, and we actually had no like we had no physical relationship at all, right? But there was an attraction,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Kind of. But she was like, at this particular moment, she was annoying me a lot.
yeah,
Okay, and I was like, whatever, not getting into that.
yeah,
And we were watching something, and then she said, we were watching a show where somebody was being very romantic to somebody else, right? Nothing explicitly sexual, just very romantic,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I said, she said, why can't if I had, if somebody did that to me, it would just be amazing. I would just die. She meant that in the sense of like it would just be such an
yeah.
overwhelming
She would
thing.
she would melt. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said to her, that kind of thing needs to be inspired.
That what do you mean by inspired?
I think that level of passion needs to be inspired. Like in a certain sense, she was telling me, you know, why can't you do something like that, or why
But
can't
why was it a bad thing to say to her? I don't get it.
because in a sense she might have been saying, how come I don't get that either from you or from
No, but why
others?
why why is it why was it a bad thing of you to say that to her, that it needs to be inspired? Why
Because
why would she take
it's
it badly?
because it was sort of communicating like she's not getting it because she's not
You're
inspiring.
not inspiring her. Uh-huh.
No, that she's not
Yeah, yeah,
inspiring
yeah. I get it. I get
what
it. Yeah.
she's what
Yeah.
she want, what she's looking for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's an example of a woman or a young lady at that time, right?
Yeah.
Complaining about something that she thinks she should get,
She deserves. Yeah.
in a sense, deserves, but
Yeah.
she's not thinking about her part in that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a shitty comment. I would take it back if I could.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily, I wasn't fully conscious of the fact that I was saying it in a
Yeah.
mean way. I only understood
Yeah.
that later.
Yeah.
Beside the point.
Yeah.
So that's one way of handling that. Okay,
Yeah.
where somebody says to you, "Oh, why can't you be as romantic as that guy?"
Yeah.
Be like, "Bitch, she inspired that. I don't know. What do you do to make me feel so romantic? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
do you think you just owe that shit because you're
It's
my
kind
wife?"
of it's yeah, it's almost like like there are
But here's the thing.
yeah.
Yes, because if she's your wife,
Yeah. Yeah.
then in a sense, you it might be the right thing to do to try to do something like that, right? I'm not really sure if that's. I'm not 100% sure about what I just said though, because I'm basing it off the premise of you ought to love who's important. You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
You ought to love.
There's a lot I want to say regarding just again my own experiences. It's one of those things where when I've done things like it hasn't in my experiences it hasn't really mattered one way or the other. If I've done things, the extra mile, what I call the extra mile things, or I haven't, the outcome was the same. So I at some point, for the course of some years, just said to myself, I'm gonna not do as much as I normally would because at the end of the day, I'm just gonna get like literally, I'm just gonna get like the same result, meaning not result, but like the person is not gonna appreciate even if I do it, and that's basically it. So I just told myself I'm not gonna. Again, it's like I remember hearing this one lecture, actually at Asia Torah. It's like this typical thing. They have a thing like it's called fish love, right? If you don't love the fish, if you love the fish, you wouldn't kill it and eat it. That whole
Right.
thing.
You love
So
yourself.
yeah, you love yourself. So they say, you don't give because you love because you give. So my answer to that statement is, okay, so you want me to give somebody in order to then I will love them after I like as a result of giving to them. But here's the thing. What if I don't feel like I want to give to somebody? What if I don't feel like the person deserves my giving? You know what I mean? Like I have to respect someone. I have to respect the lady that I'm giving to or that I'm helping or that I'm doing things for. I'm not gonna like automatically love her because I'm giving to her. What if I just give? She doesn't appreciate anything. She steps on my head.
I think
And
the
that's
idea,
it. I'm not gonna
the
love her.
idea,
I'm gonna resent her.
I
You know
think
what I'm saying?
right, loving right is, I don't know, this language is already getting out of Torah and
Yeah,
more to like kind of like
yeah,
that like new age shit, or not
yeah,
new age, but like
yeah, yeah.
the love language kind of crap.
Yeah, I know.
But I think the idea, the Torah idea underlying it is, you love is like an action, right?
Yeah,
Most people think of love as a feeling,
yeah,
but the Torah, when you love, it's something you do,
yeah,
and loving is shown by action.
yeah,
You understand?
yeah,
So your wife, right?
yeah,
Remember, for most of human history, people didn't necessarily marry who they wanted to marry, but they still got married, and they still had lives and families with the people that they married.
yeah.
Okay. And, first of all,
Sure.
the more time you spend together, right? Familiarity itself, like think, marriage in a lot of ways was sort of like, it's not that bad. Like, think about how, like, did you choose who your sister is going to be?
No.
Your parents, right? Or even your neighbors, not even really your friends, if you think about it,
Yeah.
right? Like, if I think about it, most of the people that I know in my life that I was friends with or I'm friends with now, I didn't go looking for them.
No, it's true.
They're just
100%.
there.
Yeah.
They somehow appeared in my life. Like
Yeah,
Eric is
yeah,
the best example of that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Where'd you
I keep
where'd you
bringing,
where'd you meet Eric, by the way? I don't even know where
I
you
met
met him.
Eric at like through Stan.
Okay.
Eric is 4 years younger than us, and
Yeah.
Eric is, he was just whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the point is that he just was there one day, and I'm
Yeah.
glad for
Yeah.
it. I'm glad
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, bro. For sure.
And a lot of people, their spouse was like that
That's
too.
kind of how I met you. I met
He
you
was
through
chosen.
like three different friend groups, which is kind of
Yeah,
weird,
you know what I mean? Like we
bizarre.
didn't. Nobody asked for this, right?
And then I didn't speak to you for like, I don't know, 20 years or something like that
Think
until
about it.
COVID.
Nobody asked for this,
Yeah.
right?
Folks, Frank and I
Especially,
didn't speak for 20 years until his brother became an international superstar.
yeah.
And then I posted something about his brother, and then Frank called me on Facebook, like phone call,
No, but I
just to
already
correct me. Yeah,
there
yeah.
was
No, we were
already
talking
like
before that,
no, like the few times that we actually met,
yeah.
like back 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Or a little more, was like I was like, no, I thought you were a good kid, and I thought I like I felt you were open to Torah. Like we
Oh,
mentioned,
I was always, yeah, I was always in
right?
that headspace, yeah.
Yeah. So
I just
anyway,
didn't
like
know what was
I knew
funny.
I knew I knew Greg was an interesting cat, like even back then. But the
Yeah,
point is
we
that
just didn't interact at all. That's what I'm
no,
saying.
because
Yeah,
we're from like you lived
yeah.
in Jersey,
I
and
live in Jersey. You lived in New Orleans / Florida, and then
yeah,
like you just went off the
I
map.
didn't think you were a doofus when I met you, which is to me, I know
That's
whatever.
already like the baseline starting point.
I was like, that's kind of that guy's he's not a Russian doofus. All right, whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
so basically, yeah. So yeah, So the point is that, that marriage for most of human history was like that for people, where it's like, you don't choose your sister, you don't choose your brother, you don't
Yeah.
choose your cousin, you don't choose your mother or your grandfather, or your mother, you don't choose your wife.
Yeah.
It's just like it's another close family member, right?
That's why, by the way, real quick, why I get it's not even frustrated. I have trouble or I struggle, when people ask me, like somebody wants to set me up, whatever, and the question is like, what are you looking for? And I'm trying to tell people, you know, the only answer I can give is I'll know it when I flip and see it. There's no like I mean, yeah, I can describe a profile of a person of personality or values, let's say, or whatever it is, but there's no way for me to like quote unquote predict or quote unquote create like this framework of a person, hair color, but I know guys who literally, they're like they have a type, the type, right? They have like an archetype. Blonde, brown, this. I literally have friends like this and I tell them you're a schmuck because you're literally boxing yourself in because you like brunettes, or this other guy I know likes blondes, and this other guy I know likes, Slavic type looking girls because he loves Russian, whatever, right? Doofuses, right? Like you don't
Yeah,
know who that's gonna be. Like
yeah.
I've seen like even especially girls on these like podcasts, they'll say like Jewish girls, they'll say, or like you go to like post Shever brachas, right? You go to like one of these things, and like the girl will say, if somebody told me, you heard this many times probably, if somebody told me it would be like a guy like that, I never would have thought, and this whole like thing, right? If somebody told me this, I never would have thought, but you never know who this, who that. And it turns out to be perfect, and then when you actually meet that person and it's opposite of what you thought, and it ends up being perfect. Why is it perfect? Because it's the neshama thing. It's not the thing that you concocted in your
Here's
stupid
my
brain.
knife. Here's
Yeah.
my knife. I think I
My goodness
naturally
gracious.
took it out because I'm trying not to stab myself listening to this.
Why?
Not you, but like I
Oh,
picturing
those
the
conversations.
situation you're talking about, and I'm like all of a sudden I'm turning into Bill
No,
Burr and I
I'm
want to kill
sorry.
myself.
No, but you realize that what the girl is saying is a fact. These girls are saying is a fact and it's true because Hashem, yes, Hashem sent that guy, or even when the guy says this, Hashem sent that girl to the. That's why I tell these people when you're asking me what am I looking for, I have no idea. And
I've
when
never asked you that. I just want
not
to
you,
clarify.
not you, when
I know other people. Yes.
I'll know it when dude, it's like literally, I hate to compare people to like a shmata, right? You ever go to Century 21? Like these department stores where it's like a
Yeah.
clearance or outlet. You don't know what the hell you're looking for. But when you flip and find it, you know. You take the thing, oh, this is the piece of clothing that like Hashem left for me that is sufficient, is good, and it's at the right price, and I'm taking it. You know it. You don't know what the hell you're looking for. You're just rummaging through the shit. Okay? Not shit, but like you're rummaging through the stuff.
In
And
some
when you find
ways,
it, you know.
in some ways, you're refinding something
Yeah.
that is from your home
Yes.
in the
That's why,
sky.
yeah, that's why people have said this person, I've heard again, people say it at like Sheva Brachos or the weddings, this person feels like home. When you come home, I've said this to people like, I'm looking for home. The
Yeah, even if
woman,
you don't like it, you're still looking for it.
I'm looking for home.
Yeah.
And they're like, what does that mean? Describe home. I don't know. When I find home, I'll know. And when I find home, I'll stay home. I'll marry home and I'll stay home. Like, dude, people go out, married couples go to these like sometimes I'll go to these like events that are meant mostly for singles, and I run into married couples at these, like a Shavuot, like one of these getaway things, right? And I'm looking at them, I'm just like, I think I even told one of them one time, I'm like, guys, why are you here? Well, we want to get social, but I'm like, if I was married, I wouldn't go to one of these things. I mean, yeah, go outdoors, go here, go, whatever, enjoy yourself. But like, why are you going to go to an event with singles? Why? I'm staying home. I'm staying
You don't have
home.
to stay
Or if I'm
home, but
gonna,
you don't gotta.
no, if I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm not gonna go with a bunch of freaking people and pay $600 for some whatever, right? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go somewhere secluded with my wife and maybe if I have kids, and that's it. Then I
But
mean,
it's look. There's people. I know what I'm going to sound like right now, but
yeah,
if you're not like if you're not looking forward to spending your time, you know what? Let me take that back. Somebody is religious in that relationship, and somebody not so much,
yeah, I know.
right? Like the guy probably would rather go and like study Torah. You know what I mean? And it would be amazing if his wife was into that too, but she's not, and he has to go and figure out a way to keep her, to keep her entertained. Okay, that this is a dilemma that a lot of guys have.
Yeah, yeah, dude, it's just I don't know.
So
Yeah,
listen, that's a very boring story. But let's
what's
get back to
boring?
the main
Oh,
point.
it's
The main point is that essentially, if a person, if all their expectations, right, and all their hopes and dreams don't align with God's will, they're going to be miserable. End of story. That's it. It's a much better idea to figure out or to take an interest in what God wants, what He's looking for, and pursue that. Okay. Um, and if something in the course of that matches up with something that you tend to like, things that match up with your proclivities, right? Then great. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And that does happen. You know what I mean? And when you're looking for somebody, right? Like when you're looking to be with someone, right? It is important to, you know, I don't know, like as close as possible. You know what I mean? Like to find somebody that you are naturally attracted to. It helps.
yeah.
Okay, but it's not the main thing.
That's true.
Like you're doing a God thing. You know, like you're visiting, think about like every mitzvah is different. It's obviously different in its nature. It's like think about
Yeah,
like every mitzvah is like a different country or like a different planet with its own kind of like vibe.
Yeah.
It has its own atmosphere, its own cultures, and it's a completely different vibe, right? Every mitzvah you go to is a different planet. Okay, but they all have something in common, which is
Yeah.
you're doing it as a way of because God wants you to do it, and also you're choosing to have a relationship with. Okay, so in that sense, getting married is no different than visiting the sick,
Yeah.
giving charity, putting on tefillin, observing the Sabbath, giving the tithe.
Yeah.
Like, people don't look at marriage like that.
They don't.
So that's, I mean,
They think it's supposed to be an amusement park.
they think it's for them.
They think it's for them. They think they have to be, dude. I think this is what I've been trying to convey to you this entire time, and I understand what you're saying. Usually the answer, but I feel like the listen. I'm just being honest. The ladies that I meet who are a little bit younger, they constantly, not constantly, but most of the time, they want to be entertained. And I could be an entertaining individual, but I can't always be on. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
can't always be the WB frog. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Most of the time, I'm, whatever, right?
Hello, my ragtime
Yeah.
gal.
So I look at them and I'm just like, what are you here for? Are you here? Are you here for me to be what's his face? A gladiator? Are you not entertained, or are you just here for a relationship? And I understand in the opening sequence of
Bro,
events,
my wife
yeah,
is not the type of
I know.
woman that I'm describing. I don't know any women who
Yeah,
are of the description
yeah,
who are kind of who have been taught that marriage is for God and that's their thing. It's not
yeah,
something that I think. I mean that's a very rare lady.
yeah. No, I know. I'm not even looking. This is we're talking about is we're talking about like high mushkashnirzim. That's not what we're looking for here. We don't expect that.
I'm
But
saying that if
yeah,
if it was like that,
yeah,
there would be so much less misery in the world.
yeah. No, that's true.
That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, so this is what I think this is what I've been trying to kind of convey. What I'm noticing is like more and more, it's like it seems to me a lot of it is an entertainment game. Obviously part of it is fueled by social media. Like you see these, I was gonna mention on social media, you can go on like say on Instagram and you see these like like these literally accounts, influencers who it's like a couple, like a lot of them are married couples accounts, right? So it's literally like the girl, usually it's the wife or the girlfriend, doing something. She's like the star, quote unquote, of the show. And like the husband is just kind of like going along with the thing or whatever it is. And it's just like that's what this is. Right? And 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 I'm just like I'm looking at this and I'm just like, why?
Dude, why is it? Because again, we spoke
Why?
about this.
What
We've
is the
spoken about this
purpose of this
before.
crap? You know?
We've spoken about this before. It's the
Yeah,
whole. It's this inferiority complex
yeah,
that exists in the Orthodox Jewish world,
yeah,
where we have. I know how you all look at us, but look, we have fun stuff too, like you guys.
yeah,
Oh, look, we also have restaurants. Oh, look, we also
yeah,
have
yeah,
extravagant weddings with,
yeah,
oh, look, we can also have fun.
yeah,
Like they're trying. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like that's what
yeah.
this. It's all about missing the point now.
Dude, but aren't people taught again like in the Jewish world that like don't show yourself to people because we have literally this thing called ayin hara. We have this thing called literally evil eye. People see this and that, and you can literally bring someone to like give you bad energy. Like, why the hell would you want to parade yourself around, you and your family, your kids, man? It's insane. It's mamish insane. Dude, if I got married today, I for sure would not show my family on social media. I would not show my family at all on social media.
The excuse is
Uh,
like
yeah,
these people. Some people think they're glorifying Hashem.
yeah, no,
They think that they're bringing by
yeah,
being Orthodox and
yeah,
also
no,
like doing fancy stuff and impressive things. You're impressing people. You're like, look, the Orthodox world isn't a bunch of, you know, like paupers. Look, we have cool stuff too. That kind of thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh, it's
yeah,
not all dreary and it's not all
yeah.
sitting there,
No, I get it.
shuffling
I
in
get it.
prayer.
I
You
get it.
know, become Orthodox. Woo!
Uh,
Look at you're gonna go to
uh,
these kind of parties. Like it's retarded.
yeah,
It's it's almost like Orthodox Jewish Hasbara.
yeah. No, I know.
It's
I know.
bad.
I know. It,
Dude, I have to freaking I'm at my parents' house. I have to drive home now. Okay. And I didn't even get a chance to talk about John Candy.
I'm sorry.
I came here to talk about John Candy.
Folks, Tom Hanks's son, somebody, Tom Hanks's son made a documentary about John Candy. From what I saw in the trailer, it looks like it's going to be something halfway decent. And John Candy, I didn't know this. John Candy passed away in 1994. Frank and I speak about 1994 a lot. It's almost like the year that the world went poof.
Yeah.
That the spirit in the world, the Lubavitch Rebbe left physically. John Candy left. A lot of things happened that year, and then it's just like it all went poof.
Can
And
I
yeah,
I want to. I wrote to you a little bit about I want to share just a couple of. This
sure.
is a preview.
Yeah,
A couple of words?
yeah,
So basically, can I read our
yeah.
exchange?
Please, yeah,
So he posted Greg today in like this little chat group that we have with another one of our friends,
mm-hmm.
Ryan Reynolds, right? Van City Reynolds on X. Love is not a big enough word. John Candy, I like me official trailer. So
Yeah,
that term, I like me, it
yeah,
came from a line that he did in a John Hughes movie called Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
yeah, yeah,
It's a classic. It's
yeah,
so not only is it a classic, it's an American original
yeah,
classic. It's also a movie I shared with my brother. We went to see it in the theaters,
yeah,
and there are these few. So anyway, so you posted that, right? And you're like
yeah,
documentary about John Candy,
yeah,
and then right he passed in 1994, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
yeah.
And hold on, I lost it for a second. Sorry, just get it back.
It's in our group with what's his name?
Yeah, no, I just like. Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
So you wrote he passed in 94, and then I wrote I knew the world was different when John Candy died because I was like I remember being 12 or 13 and I heard
yeah,
that John Candy died,
yeah.
and then I'm like
That actually really, yeah, it hurt.
I remember just being like literally stunned by it, but
I
not.
was also
I was I was bewildered.
yeah, yeah,
Is a
same.
better word.
Yeah, I didn't understand what the hell just happened.
So basically, I remember, and I was like, I knew something was wrong with the world.
Yeah,
Like when I heard John Candy, I was like, and you're like, yeah, the magic flew away. So, and I started thinking, like, what does John Candy like represent? Like, what is he to me? And this is the energy. This is his vibe. Somebody's going to come
yeah,
and say, oh, he did this, he did that, they're going to say bad stuff about him. I don't know. None of that. I'm talking about what he symbolizes.
yeah,
Okay. He felt to me like he was a symbol of like the innocence of, I don't know why I chose this word, mischief.
yeah,
Right? Like mischief is a bad word. Like, people use it like in a cute way now, but
yeah,
really the word mischief means like evil, like bad stuff. But so that's not what I meant. What I meant was like he was a goofy, clumsy kid who got in trouble for sneaking a peek into the girls' locker room. He's basically a big dummy, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't hurt a fly, right? He was just excited about life. And he has a really big heart, extremely charitable, right? And basically, and I got this line from the Golden Child. And this was actually set, this is what the little monk said about Eddie Murphy, but I feel this way more about John Candy, where he's like, if you touch his heart, there's nothing he wouldn't do for you.
Yeah.
Right. And he was the symbol of all that somehow. And that was very American. It was an extremely American.
Even though he's from Canada. Even though he's from
I know.
Canada.
That's what I was gonna say next. So I came up with the title for this episode. I thought it was gonna be this episode, which is John Candy, the Canadian American spirit,
That's
the
funny.
spirit, the Canadian spirit of America.
Yeah, or North American spirit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was more American. Like, okay, he was technically from Canada, but but whatever he brought out on the screen, right, in a lot of his roles, like in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and Uncle Buck, and Summer Rental, The Great Outdoors.
My favorite movie is Canadian Bacon. Speaking of which,
Canadian Bacon is a little. I mean, it's more of an esoteric kind of.
It is, yeah, but he played like
great.
a funny. He played a funny.
Yeah.
Who's Harry Crumb was pretty good.
Who's Harry Crumb was awesome.
Uncle Buck,
Delirious,
Harry Crumb,
Delirious, and he is many
Alone, many roles. Yeah,
many good movies.
Home Alone, he was in there. Nothing But Trouble.
Yes. Oh
that
my
was
God.
a weird one. That was a weird one.
Yeah, that was Nothing But Trouble was one of the most unique movies ever made. I don't know.
You know, he was in JFK. You know that, right? He played
yeah. He was like one of the FBI weirdos.
Yeah,
I remember. No, I mean he had interesting roles, but I'm talking about like his more like touching roles. You know what I mean? Like he also he had it was a short part, but it was very impactful in Home Alone.
Yeah.
Do you remember his
Yeah. The Polish guy, whatever. Yeah.
The polka, right? The polka.
Yeah, Gus Polinski, Polka King of Midwest.
Right. He's like, maybe you've heard of us.
This is amazing. Yeah.
Like he could, like no one could do that. Like.
Yep. Listen, he came from it's called something called Second City. You know, the improv troupe.
Yeah.
These are people who learn how to just formulate characters on the fly.
Yeah.
You know?
But his
Incredible.
I'm sorry, but earlier you mentioned Tom Hanks' son.
Yeah.
Right. And I think one of the reasons why it's Tom Hanks' son is because John Candy and Tom Hanks were in a very famous movie together, Splash.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was another like major John Candy role, right? And we've spoken about him, like that kind of character, and that's a very his character in Splash is a very familiar type of character.
Yes,
there's a lot of Russian guys that look and are like John Candy too, like Russian Jewish guys in America.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's very odd.
I have a friend who looks like him. What's his name? He also went to Stuyvesant.
Not sure.
Serge.
Don't tell me.
Serge.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I think that John Candy, again, he was like, you can call him like an archetype.
Yeah.
Right? He was the lovable, big-hearted, clumsy goofball who, he gets in trouble not because he's a bad guy, just because he's a little clumsy, he's not careful. He maybe gets a little too overexcited.
Yeah.
He means no harm.
Yeah.
Ever. Okay.
Yeah.
And he gets, he gets clobbered a lot.
Yeah.
But he has some resilience, right? And he has a lot of challenges, personal challenges, but he kind of overcomes them because because really goodness emanates from him.
Mm-hmm.
That's John Candy. No one exudes that And John, and so he's like this American spirit. And I go as far as to say that if you don't remember John Candy, you don't remember America,
True.
right? If you don't like if you can't remember John Candy, then you did not experience America. Like whatever happened after that, that's like after he passed, right? If all your memories come from after post John Candy,
Yeah.
you haven't experienced that. That was the last of like the last time America was America.
That is correct. That is
I
absolutely
guess that's it. I think I actually got to say everything I wanted to say.
correct. Yeah.
Maybe nothing more needs to be said.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it at that. I gotta drive home now.
Yes. I apologize, Frank, for the I think it was good. It was good to kind of clarify.
If you can't be with the one you love,
Love the
love
one
the
you're
one
with.
you're with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man.
I think that's one of the themes of being sent to this world. Like folks, we come from our home in the sky, right, so to speak, where we can be with the ones we love, right? We
Yeah.
come from this place where we're not dealing with things that don't feel natural,
Yeah.
right? Where we feel like here we feel like a fish out of water,
Yeah.
right? In most things, but we come from a place where we're like a fish in water. And also there's no challenges. There's nothing to fix, there's nothing to rectify, there's no way to really like serve God,
Yeah.
right? Like this world with all of its with at the risk of sounding like I am in some part in support of this project here that we call Earth. I don't want to give that impression. But I will just state that this is the only realm that God created where we could actually do something for him entirely.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's been explained to me, I've been made to understand that all the other realms that God created, all the different heavens, dimensions, whatever you want to call them, God is serving us. But this is the only world where where we dwell temporarily, where we could actually do something for him that he needs, right? That's entirely for him.
Yeah. Correct.
And the next question is maybe not every question needs to be asked at every point. So I'll leave it for another time.
Yes. In the words of my friend who likes the Martha Stewart dishes, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think it is. What's today's date?
Today's well, now it's the 5th.
5th. So Friday the 5th, Saturday the 6th, Sunday the 7th.
Which is what? Oh, the moon, the eclipse.
No, like that UFO hearing.
No, it's on the 9th. It's on Tuesday.
9th. Okay, so that's gonna be Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, they mentioned who's gonna be there.
Yes.
Like 4 guys.
Yeah.
Like 3 of which are like first-hand whistleblowers, and George Knapp.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it was just those 3 guys, but whatever.
I want them to parade a body.
Dude,
I want
the stripper's about to
I know.
shut up.
I was just messing around.
Stop messing around.
Actually, that would be incredible. You can imagine, like they just like bring out a ET or something like that, some kind of a. What do you think the reaction would be? Just curious.
Dude, it wouldn't have the impact. Look, The Marshmallow Man himself has designed how people are going to find out about the Marshmallow Man.
No, I know.
It's not
Yeah.
even the people in charge. It's the Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
He he designed this process,
Yeah.
and
Ugh. You mean even Gozer Gozerian will not get people to react?
whatever place
Yeah.
filler you want to use goes with the Gozerian, the Marshmallow Man. That's the same idea. You
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
so. Very interesting. It's sort of like remember Gozer was asking him choose the form of the destructor. Remember?
Yeah.
Choose what? Choose the form of the destructor. And then Bill Murray's like, oh no, oh no. So basically, if we think of J. Edgar Hoover is going to come and appear and wipe us all out. All right, so clear your heads, clear your heads. Okay, so again, I think it's a little different than the movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that it's the thing itself, it's Gozer itself that chooses the form of
Yeah.
what how
I get it.
the concept itself is going to be opened up to us,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe the movie is accurate. Maybe the way in which the concept is brought to us is decided by us too. I don't know.
Like I said about the previous thing, we'll know it when we see it. It's going to be like home. We just want to go home. We don't know what that looks like until we see it.
Yeah.
Blah. That's all I got to. In the words of speaking of Tom Hanks, in the words of what the hell's his name? Oh, what was that movie with him? I ran and I ran and I ran.
Forrest Gump.
In the words of Forrest Gump, that is all I have to say about that.
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Yeah, dude, I don't know who taught him that. I don't know where he got that from. It's a tack. It's a very effective. They call it anchoring.
I think it sounds like a corporate memo,
Yes,
you know?
but it's really
Yeah.
it sticks. It's very good.
Yeah, it's a good shtick
I like it.
in that context. Yeah. So
I like it. Next time I announce something, if I go to like a one of these events, I'm gonna like make a speech. I'm gonna say, and at the end I'm gonna be like, okay, and I'm gonna say like like this week's Torah portion. They're gonna be like, okay, thank you for your attention to this matter. Everyone's gonna be like, what? Donald Trump? What? Yes. All right, folks. Next week, on next week's episode, September 11th. We should talk about September 11th.
okay.
I have a friend who brought up Tower 7. For one, I don't know about you, dude. I don't understand why Tower 7 needed to fall. You know Tower 7?
Yeah, it didn't need to fall.
It did not need to fall. It
It's
did not need to be imploded. It did not
Dude.
need to melt. It did not need to collapse.
Dude, it's
Something is fishy.
Something, bro. Bro, the Twin Towers thing that's not another Epstein. That's real.
Yeah.
There's a Tower 7 list.
I know.
There might be no Epstein list, but there's
Yeah.
a Tower 7 list.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, folks, not Mossad. Not Mossad. I just love the people that Mossad did 9/11. Okay, what about the 20 jihadists? Who are what about those guys?
Mossad got into their minds and poisoned their food
Yes.
and it influenced their minds.
Mossad gave them kosher food and made them convert to Hasidism, Kabbalism with a Q. and then they flew the planes, and then the planes disappeared like the MH370 into the ether.
Oh, it's not, Greg. Not everybody realizes you're being facetious right now. So it's,
Dude, yeah, folks, just yeah. It's, ooh, oh, yeah, and then those Israeli guys sitting in a Hertz, with O.J. Simpson, Hertz rent a car. Dude, it's just like there's no, I don't know. It's
God.
bizarre.
No, but I mean, those whatever you want to say, like Tower 7 should not have fallen. Like that. That's
Tower 7 is yeah, it's interesting. It's an
there's
interesting.
literally no reason why
Yeah,
Tower 7 should have fallen.
I know, I know. No,
Okay.
they said there was like a fire, and then because the explanation given is the World Trade Center, it caused a water main break, so there was no water to put out the fires in Tower 7, and then there was like this whole thing, blah blah blah, and then like it just fell because of fires or because it had to be imploded. It was like damage, structural damage, something like that. What? And then you have like engineers who are just like, no. Computer says no. And then like some of the investigation was like hidden from the public or something like that. I don't know. It was just like for security reasons. What?
No, I think that's. I mean, that's probably like
Yeah.
the official symbolic,
Yeah.
like ceremony of the death of America,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then by the Clinton, Obama, Bush cartel, whatever
Yeah.
that is, that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Trump might be trying to
Yeah.
re-establish the republic.
Dude, well, there's an audio of Trump talking about the Twin Towers at that time, and he
Yeah,
just said like this is BS. He said that. And he knew all about building and materials and all this kind of thing. Dude, I was just having a conversation actually with uh, a friend of mine. He lives, Corbin Place in Brooklyn. It's like the street behind it's like close to Manhattan Beach. So he says he lives in these buildings that were built by Fred Trump. And he said that Fred used to build, and my parents and I lived in buildings that were built by Fred as well, on West Street, by Avenue Z in Gravesend. He used to build stuff with like crazy reinforced, I don't know, all kinds of stuff that you cannot knock it down. The stuff will stand, you know. So if anybody knows about building things, he learned since he's a kid. There's a picture of Trump standing in one of these, like not a ditch, it's like the foundation of a building in Queens.
yeah.
Dude, Trump knows all about that stuff. Built all kinds of building materials, what's this, what's that. You can't get it past them. So
No, 100%. Like it's
yes. So yeah, we could talk about next week. We could talk about this whole in general. We could talk about where we were.
just like
Yeah.
I was thinking about those days. I remember, I
Yeah.
was in New York.
Yeah.
Were you there too? You were.
I was living yeah, I was living in Jersey, and I was on the way to that morning, my father and I was on the way to school, to college, to Baruch, and my father worked in the Wall Street area. He would go to Hoboken, and then he would take the path from Hoboken to World Trade Center stop. And he was late because of me. I was running late. So we were late because of me. And
I
yeah.
don't know. I just remember, like, even in the years following that, like because I was so like remember just being traumatized by the images of the people falling, like,
Yeah.
and then like I was thinking about it on the train a couple times, like taking the
Yeah.
train
Hmm.
from from Brooklyn to Manhattan, right, and
Yeah.
passing by, like, I got a view of the city, from the Q train when you're going,
Yeah.
and just I don't know, made me think of the Twin Towers, and just I remember like a couple times I broke down on the train,
Yeah.
You know, people are like,
Yeah.
oh, like I didn't feel that bad because like there's always some crazy person on the train. You know what I mean? So people didn't
Yeah.
really kind of react to it. But I just remember like freaking out a couple of times on the
Yeah.
train, like thinking
Yeah.
about that. I don't know if it was like a panic attack or
Yeah.
no, it was
Listen,
not. It was not. It was not a casually experienced time.
dude, now imagine this. My father and I were on the PATH train. Not PATH train, on the train from, where we are to Hoboken. And the last stop before Hoboken is a stop called Plotterville. So in between Plotterville and Hoboken, you go through a tunnel. We left Plotterville, and you could already see the towers. We saw the towers; they're already smoking, they're already burning. And then we get into the tunnel, and then we come out of the tunnel, and both towers are gone. It's like somebody just took their hand and just removed, and it's just a plume of smoke, and we're just like, oh my God. You imagine like you just this is you don't I didn't see it fall. I only saw it fall once I saw on TV the actual process of them falling. But like in real life, it just you get into a tunnel and you come out and it's gone. And then there was this woman like people were sobbing because there was a woman like her husband was in the building and she didn't know if he was alive or not. The whole thing was just not real.
Stationary was landing
Yeah.
on my windowsill in Brooklyn.
Really?
Like, yeah, on Coney Island Avenue between UNT, I was on the fourth floor of a six-story building. Actually, I would have a view of the
Oh,
Twin Towers,
yeah.
and I would every time there would be a thunderstorm, like in the summertime, I would sit on my windowsills, big enough to
Hmm.
sit on, and
Yeah.
I'd watch lightning hit the
Yeah.
hit the antennas
Yeah.
on the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And then when I came home that day, I was trying to register for Harvard on the Bay
Speaking of
for
which, I just
classes.
I just mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Kingsborough.
it was absolute chaos that day.
Yeah.
Chaos. Um, and then I came home and I saw just like column of. It looked like the biggest nuclear mushroom cloud you've ever seen in your life. That's what it looked like, and there was like ash, like raining,
Yeah.
and like stationary was like just paper floating, and you just know that this is the stuff come like you see like the corners of like documents. It's just like
Yeah.
landing on your windowsill. I got really sick a couple of months later, like a
Yeah.
month and a half later, ended up in the hospital, almost died.
Oh my God. From what? Just like breathing,
Some of
breathing?
the doctors there thought that I got some kind of lung infection, which was like incubating
Yeah.
for some period of time,
Yeah.
exposed to chemicals, which led to damage, whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But yeah, like that December, I was in the hospital. I was there for 8 days,
Crazy.
and it wasn't clear, like how I was gonna work. Anyway,
I know a guy who had like whatever he was going to actually speaking of he was in the Stuyvesant High School, so he would commute in that area, and then he had which and then he was in remission from that the C thing, and then whatever he has all kinds of health problems anyway. Young guy, he's still, thank God, he's with us, but he's whatever, you know. We have friends that went to Stuyvesant. But anyway,
yeah.
uh, I don't think we f held responsible. I don't think we took care of the people responsible. Remember, like Bush said, we're gonna take care of them. We didn't take care of them.
No.
It was anyone but them. Okay, Afghanistan was not them. Iraq was not them.
Can we end it off on
Whatever.
that point?
Yeah,
On that point, which is,
yeah,
folks, it's the same people. 9/11, COVID,
yeah,
it's the same motherfuckers who are doing this to the world, doing this to people, and they'll
yeah,
do it again
yeah,
they're waiting for their next COVID. They're planning their next 9/11.
Yeah.
That's why justice is so important.
Again, not Mossad.
No. And that's why Mashiach is absolutely mandatory.
Yeah.
What's a stronger word than mandatory?
Like whatever, like compulsory, required.
You can't. We're not going to make it without Mashiach.
Yeah.
And by the way, we should talk about how much I disagree with Rabbi Kessin and what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if Rabbi Kessin agrees with what he said.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, to be perfectly honest, but Mashiach
yeah,
is a requirement.
Yeah. Prerequisite. Yeah.
Is a prerequisite. There's no. We'll leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone.
All right, sir.
You have a good evening, sir.
Good evening.
And, I'll try to have a good evening. I mean,
yes.
Good morning, I guess. Whatever.
Yes.
All right. Till next time.
Good night.